building.
Hey! Good morning, everybody. Hello. I'm a disaster this morning.
Me too.
An absolute disaster.
I'm running on 2.5 hours of sleep, and this week's been 3 years long.
It's not a sleep issue for me. I actually feel all right. Like, I actually got a good night's sleep. My wife's out of town.
Oh, yeah, you were.
So, I had the whole bed myself.
I'm jealous of your sleep.
And I explored every inch of that bed.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was here. I was there.
I was everywhere.
At the top, at the bottom.
Dog doesn't join? Dogs?
Both dogs wound up joining me at some point.
Yeah, when
but I didn't care.
When radio sees that Mallory's gone, if she has like a work trip or something like that, it doesn't happen that often, but I swear radio's waiting for it. She's always like, oh, okay. Well, I'll just come all the way up here and use her pillow like she would. I mean, she uses pillows and everything. Yeah, she uses the pillow and everything.
First new dog comes in and she runs straight into the door when it's closed. I just hear a bang. So I know she's there. And then I'll leave the door open a crack because I know Kat will be eventually joining her. And then Kat just puts her paw, swings the door open.
Yep, I'm here.
I'm here.
Dude,
and you see a silhouette of a dog in the door.
That's a reminder that my dog is the weirdest dog. I told you about how these English setters, radio specifically, is just a different type of animal. Doesn't act like a dog. We got a coffee table that's super low. You can put food right there. You can put her treats right there, and she won't eat it unless you say, here you go.
Discipline.
I mean, like, yeah, but it's not like we even taught that. She just knows that that's not where she eats things. She eats kind of strangely. And dude, when it comes to doors, I always had dogs that use their muzzle and like whoop, open the door if they can, or they scratch on her paw. My dog can have a door open, but if she can't get cleanly through it without like a hair without touching it, she will stop and go, oh, somebody open this for me.
Oh yeah.
Aww.
Somebody open it. She is like regal royalty.
Kat opens
you got to open doors for her.
Kat we have the door to go out to the deck with
with the flat,
not a knob but a flat handle. She opens it.
Wow.
Oh, really?
She jumps up and
my dog will not go through halfway open doors.
Interesting.
Weirdo.
No, see, I'm a mess. I got a lot of papers here because there's a lot of stuff to get through. I don't know where to start. Do we start with?
Here, let me pick one.
Here we go.
Oh.
What caught my mind, or what caught my eye, was pooped. So we'll start with that.
Pooped.
Great.
No, these are all like the leftovers, stuff we haven't gotten to for the week.
Which is a big stack by the time
Which is a big stack. So,
Friday.
Headline, Ohio woman who pooped on church altar sought by cops after court no-show. Okay, go on.
Please.
Go on.
A no-show, huh?
An Ohio judge has issued an arrest warrant for a woman accused of pooping on a church altar.
Well, that's blasphemous.
She didn't want to. Yeah, she didn't want to face the consequences of her actions.
27-year-old Laura Menard was supposed to be in court on Monday for a hearing in connection with her indictment for relieving herself inside the chapel.
Take big dumps if you're Menard.
My apologies to the Menard.
I love Menard.
I was trying to think of some sort of hymn that we could.
I went straight to
put that into. But you're thinking about Menards.
I think it's Miniard,
Oh,
but it's Menard here.
Pardon me.
So she relieved herself inside the chapel at a hospital. You know those little prayer rooms?
Yeah.
They're like legit chapels.
Yeah. You ever been in one of those?
No.
Like a hospital?
Yeah, at a hospital they usually have like
a hospital chapel.
A hospital, and it's like legit.
Yeah.
It's an altar.
Stained glass.
Stained glass.
Yeah, I feel like
they'll do services there sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like it's nice, but I do feel the weight sometimes in there, and then other times, you feel lightened. It's
it's a hospital.
I know. I just you think, man, there's a lot of heavy prayers have been set down.
Well,
here.
what she did was she wound up taking a dump. She wound up taking a dump on the altar, and then she wiped herself with the runner.
What is
the
that?
fabric runner on the altar.
What is that? Is this some anti-religious thing? Is this some?
No, I think this is just a woman that's just
lost it.
Yeah.
Oh, bummer.
And she didn't show up for court. Since her arrest, she's violated terms of her supervised release. In addition to, I guess she had to be monitored, so she had one of those ankle monitors on. She took that off, traveled outside the state, failed to abide by an approved schedule, didn't keep the monitoring unit charged,
The ankle monitor shorted out due to some unforeseen, unknown
liquids,
fluid. Yeah.
leading a probation officer to report that her whereabouts are unknown, so they don't know where the hell she is. Though her bond has been revoked twice, she has been, for some reason, allowed to remain free on her own recognizance. So that worked out good. That worked out well. This is a woman that should probably not be walking around. So this was back in May. She defecated on the altar, used, quote, a fabric runner on the altar to wipe herself. Cops charged that she also used a picture in the chapel and smeared feces on the table of the altar too. So there you go.
Well, on the flip side, if she was bound up and praying for relief, talk about instant delivery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
Answer to prayer. And unfortunately, I mean, there's people that are experienced in cleaning that kind of stuff up at a hospital. I'm sure they walked in there and said, "Come on,
Come on.
here
Again?
too."
Oh, Lord.
Again?
Oh Lord.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. The janitor comes in.
Yes.
The friendly hospital janitor with the mop and bucket, probably whistling,
Yeah.
all cheery, goes into the chapel. Probably the cleanest area of the hospital,
Yep.
or what it's supposed to be.
Right.
Oh, Lord. Oh.
God, why?
Chapel.
Yeah.
Chapel shut down.
God, if you're listening, help.
Help.
Another woman being crazy. A woman has been arrested after running onto the tarmac at an airport in Australia, trying to stop a flight from leaving without her.
I understand.
Oh, man.
Don't go.
Yeah, that's a thought. If you see that door shut, you ever miss a flight? It's the dumbest, worst feeling ever. It sucks. And I can imagine, like, in a moment
panic?
of, in a moment of panic, the fight or flight, pardon the pun. Like, I mean, if you had access to the tarmac, I think I'd give it a go. Too.
I mean, the plane was
Like
away
waving.
from the gate.
Yeah, I gotta go. Oh my God, I gotta go.
The plane
can't miss this.
was away from the gate. I mean, it was taxiing.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you see a flight of stairs that can get you there,
Okay,
I'd
and
go
then
out there and
what?
wave my arms too.
And then what?
I don't know. You're not thinking. You're not thinking.
It's coughing. If it's on the ground, you got a chance.
What? You got no chance.
You
Hold on
never
to
know,
the-
dude.
It
You ever
hasn't
seen Liar
left-
Liar?
Yeah, it hasn't left yet.
I've seen a lot of movies where they're running alongside the gate and somehow they get on.
Yeah, of course I would never do this, but I can also say that I can't say that I would never do this.
I'll be honest, it has always
okay,
been.
the plane stops, and then what? What do they open up the door? You got to get the stairs.
Oh, thank goodness you're here.
You got to get the stairs.
I'll be honest,
They'll
I've
drop
had
down
at
a rope
least
ladder.
9 separate fantasies where I grab onto the wheel and ride it up as the wheel. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that'd be
You know,
such
there's-
a cool way to get on a plane.
There's a couple people that have tried that in recent decades.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I
but
was
stowaways.
and it never goes well. They always.
I
die
thought
up
there was an
Yeah.
incident where it actually ended okay, where the guy made it.
Look that up.
In a
Usually
Bugs Bunny
look that up.
cartoon or something.
I think there's.
We just talked about a guy a couple years ago in the news.
It's usually planes coming out of like third world countries where people are trying to get the hell out of there.
Oh, small, like a puddle jumper. You're not,
Oh no,
you're not
I'm talking like a
something more than 30,000
747,
feet.
like being up in the where the gear is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually they'll freeze.
Cargo.
Usually they'll freeze, and then when they get to wherever they got to go, when they put the gear down, whoever it is drops out.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Okay, so the first thing that pops up is a headline that says teen survives flight to Hawaii in jet's landing gear. But the second thing is
That's what it was.
Some people have survived. Since 1947, 105 people are known to have attempted to fly, purposefully.
Yeah.
Inside wheel wells on 94 flights worldwide. Blah, 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 blah. Of those, it's believed that 25 made it through.
Oh, 25? That's more than I would have thought.
Including a 9-year-old child, a survival rate of 24%.
That's more than I would have thought.
One of the flights went as high as 39,000 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, because first of all, oxygen, pressure,
Second of all,
freezing temperatures.
Freezing temperatures, oxygen, and it says the most common method of stowaway death is they're crushed by the landing gear.
well,
that too. The whole hydraulics.
wouldn't be cool
thing.
if there wasn't a risk.
There's very little
true.
room, it says.
That's true.
Also, coolest 9-year-old.
Yeah, how'd that happen?
Oh, you're having a bar mitzvah? Good for you. I rode landing gear 39,000 feet into the sky.
And lived.
Lived
And here I am.
it. But hey, man, Enjoy your day. You're such a big boy. You know what I mean? Like, that guy's throwing shade at everybody.
Yeah, that kid became a man at 9.
Yeah, what a cool guy.
Yeah, I want to know the story behind that.
Now it's I'm sorry. So this was done in 2009. Since 2015, it says 113 such attempts have happened on 101 flights.
Yeah, the survival rate's not great.
Atmospheric pressure.
Let's do that math real quick.
Partial pressure of oxygen and hypothermia are the max risk, and that's only if you go 8,000 something feet and around there. Whereas we know most jets are around 30,000 something. And if you don't know this, if you're trying to catch a free flight like somewhere far, like if you go from here to Japan, you're not going like this. We don't go around the world. You go over the world. You're going over the pole. You're freezing.
Assuming
you're coming down an ice cube.
Assuming the Earth is round.
Presumptuous with that thought.
I do not mean to be presumptuous.
Idiots.
I apologize.
What if we did have a
I can
flat
come
earther
off
on
smug.
this show?
You
really...
do.
I don't mean to come off smug in saying that the
please.
world is a globe.
You're curvature elitist.
Is a sphere.
Yeah.
Is a sphere.
Well,
113 people, it says. Let's
think about this, dude. 113 on 101 flights. That means that at least once somebody tried, 3 people tried to do the triple decker. Somebody got on the front and the 2 back wheels together. Because somebody had to double or triple up. If there's been 113 attempts and 101 flights, there was 12 people that tried to double up at least. And there's got to be one set that were like, you go to the front wheel, I'll go to the 2 back wheels. There's going to be some Ocean's 11.
See you in Omaha.
Yeah, dude. And if those 3 people made it, coolest story.
Yeah, of course.
Bar none.
I'm sure the people since 2015 that have tried this are not statisticians or anything, and reading that, 24% survival rate. Let's go for this. Let's chance hypothermia and hypoxia and all that. But it also says that at atmospheric pressure of high altitude plus prolonged exposure to dangerously high noise levels will almost guarantee hearing damage.
Oh, my God. So what you're saying is it's not worth it.
Compression sickness, nitrogen gas embolism. I mean, this is not a good idea.
Who's going to tell Tom Cruise?
I don't even want to go downtown.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a guy. One survivor, Armando.
Like riding in the front of an Uber.
Get this. One survivor, Armando Ramirez, defected from Cuba aboard an Iberia flight from Havana to Madrid in 1969. He recalled in 2021 that his earliest post-flight memories are of Spanish doctors calling him Mr. Popsicle.
Cute.
Because ice covered his body when the pilot discovered him after arrival. Ooh. He had boarded the plane while it was taxiing, carrying a flashlight, a rope, and wool to stuff his ears. So he was.
Hey, you thought about
listen, he's been thinking about this.
I don't want my eardrums blown out.
He was doing.
Popsicle.
He was doing the Rafe heist. Like, this is the coolest way to go.
Yeah.
A companion fell out of the other wheel well before takeoff, and a third backed out at the last moment. After takeoff, he suffered frostbite on his middle finger so severe that it turned black, holding on until the wheel retracted.
Oh, my God.
Then remembered nothing save shivering and shaking from extreme cold until he completely lost consciousness. Took him a month in a Spanish hospital to regain any hearing.
They had like hair dryers throwing him out.
Hey, but he got where he wanted to go, okay?
But he reports no lingering medical issues from the experience.
What about his middle
It's a
finger?
win.
Maybe he doesn't need that in
I wonder
Spain.
if they'd take that off.
It's more badass
Anyway. Yeah, I can't imagine just our landing gear going down and then somebody dropping out.
Dude,
anyway,
look
so
at
this woman.
First of all, we are not the only people that are interested in this. Look, they've got an entire graph of every attempt and if they survived, what they did, where they went. I mean, look at this. This is a crazy list. I'm going to post this.
Please.
We'll put this on the blog.
Yeah, I would get stuck in a Wikipedia vortex.
Look at that. When the landing gear opened for landing, they fell.
Oh, so they made it.
Fell, crushed, fell.
From Paris to Shanghai. They made it until they got to Shanghai. Oh.
And then it came open and they fell. Wow.
Well, a couple of those, if you look, they say like it's usually somebody trying to escape.
Yeah.
Whatever horrible conditions in whatever country they're in.
Yeah.
They'll receive receive refugee status in Canada. From Havana to Montreal. Okay, you made it. Congratulations. Here's your hockey stick and
welcome.
Here's your hockey stick and jug of maple syrup.
Yeah.
You're Canadian.
Yep.
Almost all of these were trying to get out of a place that was dangerous.
To imagine that desperate to leave a
Yeah.
place
That's what I was just thinking
where
about.
you will
Do
risk
anything.
do anything.
Yeah.
This woman, I don't know, she was going to Adelaide on a Qantas flight. She missed the flight, ran right past security, onto the tarmac, and was waving her arms for the plane to stop. Again, I don't know at the end game what she thought was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Witnesses say she was trying to yell at the pilot, she was trying to get his attention, jump up. It was bizarre. The lady missed the flight, clearly thought she could still catch it.
Maybe her kids were on there or something.
No, I don't know. I guess the pilot was warned, and before running her over, because she was running alongside the plane, he wound up killing the engine. They had to shut the entire airport down.
I'm imagining Danger Zone is playing as she's running.
They had to shut the entire airport down.
Oh my gosh, it doesn't take the Arctic to freeze. Guy tried to hitch a ride from San Diego to New York City, froze.
That's a long flight.
Well, I'm just saying.
Well, up in the
Yeah, 30,000
feet, it's cold. It's cold. So they had to shut down the entire airport because of this moron. Which I think, if that happens, if you cause an entire airport to be shut down, everybody who has missed a flight or is in some way delayed or inconvenienced, they get to have one punch. Everybody gets one
What?
punch.
Just give him a drink voucher. It's going to be fine.
No, it's not going to be fine. Because I got a connection in Atlanta.
Well, you're going to have to run to your plane.
I got a connection in Atlanta, and thanks to her,
I can't. My feet are frozen.
Oh my gosh. Here's one in 2010 where
you got to get out of this, Moon.
this
You gotta
guy
get
got
out of
this
it.
guy got on the wrong
He's in
plane.
a Wikipedia rabbit hole right
He
now.
survived, but he didn't plan on going there. He was trying to go somewhere else.
Oh, he got on the wrong flight.
Died, survived, died,
Yeah.
died,
Don't do it.
died, body parts fell off.
Great.
Hey,
Done. We're done with
this
this.
is vortex.
What-
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, this is what happens when I'm laying in bed. I know. And I get stuck in these like Wikipedia vortexes.
Yeah, I'll put that on the blog.
YouTube. Get me started.
And I go down some kind of rabbit hole.
Oh yeah.
It's me with TikTok. I will die on TikTok just scrolling.
I got addicted to these working dogs YouTube videos and rat terriers in England on chicken farms. I lost track of time, dude, watching these dogs like take down rats at a chicken farm. It's wild.
The last time I lost hours was watching YouTube videos of boats sinking.
Yeah. You don't even know what's happening. And then just you've grown a beard.
First of all, that's totally understandable. If you've seen one boat sink, you want to see them all.
What do you mean? Like,
Oh, dude, just how
Just
it
look up
happens,
boat
like how
sinking.
fast it happens, or what happens with it. Obviously, we're not looking for any like human tragedy here, but
Right.
like, when a boat goes down, it is fascinating.
okay.
I lost like
Cl-
2.5 hours.
Columbus was talking about that. Remember?
Yeah.
He said he got into a rabbit hole, and that's all he. TikTok
Our
just
Like
2.5
only
hours
shows
of
him
boat
boats
sinking.
going down.
Our algorithms are very different.
Yeah. All right. I'm like, damn it. I had a beard.
It's been 100 years.
My kids are have graduated college.
Your lips are all chapped.
I'm still watching boats sink on YouTube. I think I'm at the end of YouTube. I think I watched the last one. This guy took the internet, and he was upset that his girlfriend won't support him financially until he proposes to her.
What?
Go on.
Okay, wait. So he wants to be supported by his girlfriend financially until he proposes, and then
Well,
he's gonna.
and the girlfriend won't support him financially until he proposes.
Oh, I see. Oh, so they live together maybe, and she's like, "You pay for all your own stuff."
Well, and he starts with he was blindsided. He was blindsided by his girlfriend when she point blank refused to financially support him after he lost his job. The guy became unemployed 4 months ago, wiped out his savings, and he expected his lady, who he lives with, to, pay for everything. They've been together for 3 years. She goes, no, you haven't proposed. I am not going to support you financially.
Oh wow. I don't
Quote,
know.
I asked my girlfriend to help cover my expenses, and she refused because I didn't propose before this.
I don't agree. I like that's. It sounds like the marriage is not going to go very well because you're not willing to you're not willing to step up in this moment. So what does that say for the future? Like even
Now,
though you're not married,
he's been unemployed for 4 months.
right?
4 months.
Well, hopefully he's applying and applying himself.
I don't know how how the job hunt is going.
Sounds like.
But you don't see it from her perspective, like.
I don't need to support you. No, I don't. I'm talking about like.
Is
if
this
I
an
were
investment in my future?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like maybe she doesn't want to be with this guy because maybe he's lazy and he's like, I don't want to get another job. Like, okay, then this isn't going to work on a number of levels.
He says she had told me 3 dates and that she expected to be engaged in about 2 years of dating and is very unhappy with me. So they're now a year past when she thought they should be engaged.
Right.
Oh.
God, that time.
He said, I'm sure she's the one. I'm just still hesitant about marriage. And she has previously told me she is trying to get over the fact that she wasted 3 years with me.
Okay,
Listen,
these people need to
I
break
told her,
up.
give me some time.
Yeah, if there's anything that sets a standard for a healthy relationship, it's timetables and ultimatums.
Yeah, for real.
Let's those are the 2 words that
Well,
any
that's
marriage
the-
counselor is going to tell you right away.
And
That's the base.
Have we
That's
tried timetables
cornerstone of a
and
good
ultimatums?
relationship.
Yeah.
why would she want to
Hey.
marry this person? But like, they're 3 years in. She wanted to be married in 2, but she won't support him. So it's like, this isn't working. You know, she's giving up ultimatums.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a job.
They live together.
Doomed.
Yeah, you guys are approaching. These people are approaching the relationships in 2 different ways. You know,
Right.
Mars and Venus, kind of like to go old school, which is interesting. We have an email that's kind of on the flip side of this that is fascinating, and I can't wait to get to it
Cool.
Well, does it kind of piggyback on this?
Yeah.
in a reverse way.
Okay, well,
Hit
well, before let me finish this
Yeah,
and then pull up
I'm
that.
curious as to what you guys think
pull
on,
up that.
on this because it's going to affect what you say on the
So
next one.
he said, hey, give me some time, and she hadn't pushed it. This was shortly before, so I guess they've been having discussions like, hey, when are we going to get married? And he's, I'll get to it. I love you. And then he was laid off. This was shortly before my work announced they were cutting people. His decision not to, propose has come back to bite him in the ass because she doesn't feel secure enough in their relationship to bail him out. Quote, she says, I'm expecting too much from her since I'm not ready for marriage, but expecting her to help me out with rent. We've been dating for 3 years, but doesn't that count for something? If it was a year in, I understand. If it, it's too early. But we've been together for a long time. She told me it was meaningless because I haven't proposed, and she refused to help me out as I could decide I don't want marriage and bail at any time. I could have bailed at any time while dating and still can bail after we get engaged, but I didn't and I won't.
Yeah, but she doesn't know that, and I'm not defending her thing here, but like, well, let's
I can see both sides
Let's
of
start
this,
with a
to be honest
sparkle.
with you.
Let's start with a sparkle here. The good thing is, at least they're communicating. They are communicating what their desires are, and that's a good thing. Let's start there. That's a huge part of all this. But I mean, he's got to understand her perspective a little bit, even if he doesn't agree or like comprehend. You know what I mean? Like you gotta, right? You gotta kind of like respect. Like, okay, I see what you're feeling here. Mm-hmm. On both sides, I'm with you, Rizz. I feel kind of, I understand both sides.
I do too. Now he says he's threatened to kind of call time out in the relationship. He says, I've told her since she won't help, it's a show me she isn't serious too. And she
cool.
says, fine. We can just end the lease, and I go back to live with family.
Yeah, we will fix our differences with threats. That's
great. They're setting themselves up for real success.
Yeah,
long
maybe.
term.
How old?
I think they're going to make it.
How old are they? This sounds like a 20-something issue.
I don't know, but I'll tell. But do you want to know what the internet thinks?
Yes.
What does the internet think?
That they should break up and everything I'm saying.
The internet's pretty much on her side.
Oh.
Yeah.
One person wrote, you wanted to have your cake and eat it too. You're getting all the perks of being married with none of the security or teamwork for her. That's why she mentioned the marriage thing.
Now, I can understand him, though, being a little bit hesitant if she keeps bringing up and timetabling marriage. Like, that's probably a surefire way to make sure somebody delays popping the question.
Another person said, this is the epitome of expecting wife duties for girlfriend wages.
Yeah. But how can you, I guess it's a duality. So, like, she wants to get married to this guy. So I'm going to tie into, it sounds like she just wants the wedding to happen. She's not really thinking about who she's marrying. She's like, I just want to be married. Because she sounds fed up with this guy at the same time. She wants to marry him to have the wedding and the experience and that milestone in your life. And yet she's fed up with him. So to me, I think she should just start over, maybe find somebody more her style that will keep a job. And it sounds like security is a big deal.
I wonder why he won't just do it. They've been
He
living
doesn't have
together.
any money.
We don't
He's
know.
broke.
We don't know. Maybe he had,
They've been living together for 3 years.
maybe he had poor examples of all of that in his life. I don't know.
He's a mooch.
Maybe.
That's what I'm starting to think.
Sounds like he's a mooch who's saying all
Wants
the right
himself a
things to
sugar
keep
mama.
his rent paid. You know what I mean? You're the one. I know you're the one. Okay, I'm just not ready to pull the trigger, babe. Now, can I get back to Call of Duty with my bros?
Dude, I all day I was updating my resume.
Dude, you know what I've done all day? Can't believe you're bringing this up. I've been on K Jeweler's website just looking at rings. And I was going to show them to you, but now you ruined it.
Do you know how many rings I've thought about
He's
looking
just
at?
gaslighting the hell out of this.
But every time I come home, you're playing Call of Duty. Yeah, but I just started.
Yeah, I didn't want you to know. So I pretended. I paused my game. My bros are super mad at me.
In the background, we were talking about jewelry.
I did it for you.
You
Look how
guys
much I
have to like
sacrificed.
dudes is great.
Every kiss begins with K's, but every fight begins with you.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Sounds like, to her, I'm not saying that that should have been a red flag on a first date, but she was up front. If she was like, I told you when we started dating, I want to be engaged in 2 years. I'm not here to F around. So, that should have been either he was like, okay, that's an alarm.
Yeah, when you first start dating, and she goes, if this is still going with on 2 years, and I'm not married, I'd be like,
oh, I thought you were going to go, it's a trap.
That's so common, though. I feel like 2 years is the going rate for like a serious relationship. Are we taking this to the next
Is that
level?
fair, though?
Caleb
Is that
writes-
fair in that early of a relationship to start saying expectations of when someone should
listen,
ask you to
Caleb
marry
on the
them?
feedback writes, my wife waited 15 years before making me marry her.
Patient woman. That is a patient lady you got there, and I'm glad you scooped her up.
Like, I understand there's a reasonable timetable there, but at the same time, man, I'm not sure that's fair to up and talk about that in the first date.
Not the first date, but
Didn't he say it was the first date? Or when they first started dating.
Well,
let's say the first month.
She said that at some point, hey, I hope to be engaged by 2 years.
I think that's reasonable. Everybody has their own trajectory of a timeline, and women always get the bad rep that we always want to get married. And yeah, I had a timeline in my heart that Tim and I talked about whenever we were dating in that first year, and when I knew I wanted to marry him. So it's like, yeah, I think that's smart to go, hey, especially if you want to have kids or attempt to have kids, and you want to have a certain age to do that, or you want to get
how much time between dating and engagement? Starting dating and engagement, how long?
For Tim and I?
Yeah.
Let's see, we date for 4 years.
4 years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was great.
Yeah,
ours
mine
too.
was 5.
I'm sorry, wait. 3 years. We got engaged 3 years then, married in 4.
5 for me.
You guys are seniors.
We were seniors.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what did the email say?
Oh, dude, this is great. Okay, so
This is, by the way, I want to preface this with, this is the guy that tried to call like 27 times during the number 2 live we did the other day.
are you sure?
I think so. Is this the guy that said he was calling for Nick?
Yes.
Yep.
He
Nick.
needed advice.
Needed
Okay.
advice.
Here's how it starts. But I really need advice. So I've known this girl for 9 years.
9 years.
We've always had
Is this math? So let me write this down.
Yes, 9 years. Yes, write things down. You're going to need notes.
Lots of math this morning on this show.
All right, 9 years.
9 years.
9 years.
No, 9 years. Okay. We've always had attraction towards one another. So always would be 9 years of attraction. Write that down as well. But never even entertained the possibility of being together. Recently.
Known and attracted to. Okay, 9 years.
Recently, we decided to give it a shot. Everything is great. We click better than I ever thought we would. I put 2 spaces between that and the next paragraph.
Okay.
Because, hey-o, 2 thumbs, 2 toes up, right? Dream come true.
Sure. Everything's going great. Congratulations.
Next paragraph starts, now comes the issue. I have a great career with an electric company. I do quite well. Goodness gracious, there's more thumbs up. Everything is going great.
Coming up, Nick.
She makes about 3 times more than I do a year.
Woo.
Great.
Can we add some more thumbs up, please?
So you make good money. She makes even better money. Okay.
Most people would say, quote, sweet sugar mama, but I don't know what to do. It makes me uncomfortable or like I'm less of a man.
You're an idiot.
I know that sounds like toxic masculinity, but she always covers the check.
Wow.
Randomly,
You're an idiot.
randomly randomly buys me things, etc. And while it's appreciated, it makes me feel like my hard work and great pay is useless, and I've reached a sort of fight or flight mode.
Get over it.
Should I now allow this to keep happening and enjoy the connection we have, or should I run? I have talked to her about it and it hasn't changed anything as far as her covering everything. I need male and female perspective. I've tried calling the show yesterday, but couldn't get through. I actually really need y'all's advice, please.
Are you out of your mind?
I know we're going to tease.
You have the best case.
Best case scenario. But
tell me all about
everything's
it.
coming up, Nick.
I do understand, because there are a lot of things and pressures, whether they're from people, culture, society, whatever it is, that you do feel like your value is tied to what you can bring.
I don't think that's much of a thing anymore.
It's definitely a thing. It's definitely a thing.
For men, this is the thing.
Is it really
it's
a thing?
100% a thing.
Maybe it's just so stupid in my mind that I can't even wrap my head around it.
Well, I know that I've seen plenty of experiences where somebody loses a job or they're not making as much as they used to, and their value is called in by their spouse into question. And it is remarkably emasculating and very, very difficult.
You can act like a man in other ways.
I can understand in today's whatever how this guy can feel like this, but at the same time, you even said, read your own sentence. I have a great career, and I do quite well.
Yeah.
So you're pulling weight, brother.
Be the man and mow the lawn. Okay, take out the garbage.
You're doing okay.
Start an OnlyFans.
She seems like she's happy.
Supplementary income.
You guys are attracted to one another.
You waited for this.
Brother, relish what you have. You're only seeing negative because of
let me just lay this out
some
for you.
basic insecurities, and that's okay. It's normal.
Nick, first of all, don't blow this. You got a good thing going. Okay, if you want to act like a man, you could step up and do manly things. Like I said, mow the lawn, chop firewood,
build her a deck,
man stuff,
hunt, gather.
Somebody in the chat, I can't see who it was, said his woman probably gift giving and stuff is her love language, and I believe in this.
Yeah,
and so. Nick, I'm for real. Go take the love languages test online. I do it like once a year just to. No, don't shake your head at me.
Come on.
No, don't. You should take it too, Rizz.
I'm not taking any tests.
Like
we know your love language is yelling.
No,
we don't need you to take it.
I think you're making a great point.
You're a fool.
That's right.
Listen to me, Nick. So maybe your love language is different. So she probably is gift giving, but there's also like acts of service and physical touch and words of affirmation and quality time. And Nick, you need to go to therapy. This is your issue,
Idiot
not
Nick,
hers.
you're
Idiot
willing
Nick.
to give up.
Yes, yeah.
You're willing to give up.
Nick, you need to go to therapy. See if she'll pay for it and send you.
You're willing to give up financial security for what?
And
for
love.
some stupid man ego stuff.
And her hot ass.
Hey, every time you feel like less of a man, go and fight somebody,
There we
okay?
go.
Every
Fight
time you
Rizz.
feel like less of a man, just go roll in a big pile of money that she brought into the house.
Donald Duck, yep.
Yeah.
Scrooge McDuck style.
That's right.
Let her pay for Krav Maga classes,
Honestly,
okay?
all jokes aside, I agree with you.
Thanks.
I think, but I will say, if gift giving is her love language, she also needs to understand that may not be your love language.
Sure.
She needs to learn to talk to you in your love language, whatever that is. And if gift giving is her love language, you're in a tough spot, man, because you only make 1/3 of what she makes.
Now,
basic ego.
okay, I can understand one part of it, like he may be afraid that she'll hang that over him. Okay, but if that's
assuming.
the case, but if that's the case, then she's rotten, and maybe
But
it's
he
not gonna
didn't
work out.
say she was doing that.
Right.
He's speculating
No, yeah,
that
as
at
far
some
as we
point that's
know.
going to come up.
As far as we know,
she's not.
She's happy. Yeah, Rizz is right. You're a crazy person to consider running. But
No, I didn't say crazy person. I said fool and idiot.
a fool and idiot. Sorry.
Yeah.
But you know what? But
Don't put words in my mouth.
But it's not crazy to be that way, because that is typically what our ego does. So you
And
just gotta-
society has done that to men.
Yeah. Whoever's fault it is your issue, like Lern said. It's your ego. Let's try to work that out and break that down. And I would definitely seek out a professional as well.
Yeah.
Make
Yeah,
sure
for
you're having
real.
conversations about what makes you feel good in the relationship, and work through all that, because you got it made. Let's see all the positives here.
you want to act like a man? Go to the garage and build something.
If you build her a deck,
Yeah.
you probably quit your job, dude. But also, like, look inward, man, because what if you think she's going to hang the fact that she makes more money than you over your head, then what does that say about what you think about you making more money than her?
Right.
Like, what do you, if you think that you need to make more money than her to be in a position of power or status in your relationship,
Or value self-worth.
or value, what does that say about, you know, what you see the male-female dynamic as? And maybe you need to change your outlook on that a little bit.
You know, I guess for a lot of men, it is important that they take care of their family, but that doesn't mean necessarily that it has to be 100% financial.
And I've seen
Yeah.
situations where people like really take people down, and they take people down psychologically because they're not bringing in whatever they expected them to bring in, and that is a heavy thing. But it is the ego, man. So if it's not an ego thing that's being put on you by her, just work it out with yourself.
Yeah, man. And be happy for her. Like,
Yeah, dude.
to have like more female breadwinners in quotes helping their families. I mean, as a woman, I'm happy I'm growing up in this time and like have a career in this time where I can make a decent living. I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to go into women's history right now, but like the guys have always been the breadwinners, and it's starting to turn, and that's okay. But I also understand the pressures that society puts on men to be the top earners in their family, and that sucks too. So it's like the times are changing. Hey, she loves you. She sounds like a pretty kick-ass chick.
Man, I'm all about my wife taking care of me.
There you
Yeah,
go.
hell yeah,
Me too,
dude.
I'd marry Oprah in a
Let's
heartbeat.
get that going.
I don't even
Come
believe
on.
in marriage, and if Oprah proposed on the spot, I'm saying yeah.
So my question is,
And I think Tina would understand.
100%. We've had the conversation.
Tina's in the wedding.
my question is, when these guys get married, because it's all good, everything's going great, right? Are they going to have one bank account or a separate? Because we talk about that on the
I would
show a whole
insist
bunch.
on one bank account, sir.
Talk it out prior. I'm curious.
Dude, you got it made.
Yeah.
We're happy for you.
Keep us updated. Not on a weekly basis, but maybe once a quarter.
Don't mess
we
this
want to
up,
know.
Nick. Don't mess this
Don't
up.
blow this, man.
St. Louis, everybody in the chat's like in support of him going to therapy and getting.
No, not everybody.
Oh.
It's never everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, don't throw a blanket at
But a good
everybody.
chunk.
No, it's not. It's not. I see a lot of people want her phone number now.
Oh, great. Well, then there's that.
One person just emailed, way to humble brag, Nick.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
He's just rubbing
Can't
it
come
in
on,
his
Chris.
face.
You can't be happy. The guy's trying to solve a problem here.
Yeah.
You're so mean.
I thought you were going to go, whoo-wah. I thought you were
Oh, yeah. Well, I was thinking that. my wife makes a lot of money.
I make a lot of money and she makes even more.
You can go on expensive vacations.
I thought you were going to do that, but hey, man,
No, I'm just so blown away by just the
we're happy for you, man. That's
sheer
cool.
stupidity of that email.
It all worked out. He was
And the
attracted.
mindset.
He was attracted to somebody for 9
Get over
years.
it.
They were worried
Yeah.
about the relationship.
Someone
ruining
emailed
things.
in,
It
tell
made
him,
it
be a
better.
man, drink a Monster, and punch a hole in the drywall.
That's it.
I couldn't agree more.
She'll pay for it to be fixed.
Yeah, that's right. You have enough money.
Punch a hole in the drywall and then let her see you mudding and taping it back up.
She'd be
You're
so
golden,
turned on.
brother.
Have you guys all punched walls in this room, right?
I have punched a wall. I've never put a hole through it because
Okay.
I'm not that strong.
Okay.
He punched a wall and went to the ER.
The wall punched a hole in you. Yeah.
The wall one.
Have you ever done anything like that?
I've been gotten so pissed off.
Yeah.
I've punched, a door.
Yeah.
Have you?
No, I've thrown. I'm a thrower at walls. So I've gone to weddings and gotten pissed and thrown the
What?
champagne glass at a wall.
At a wedding?
At a wedding?
At a wedding, yeah.
Wow.
Drinks
Hammered.
were involved, I was about to say. What
Making a scene
what could
at someone
piss you off
else's
so much
day.
at a wedding?
Yeah. I think
A day about love.
I think it was the guy I went to a wedding with was just being a total tool bag, and
Was he just not? He didn't want to do the electric slide
he
with
didn't
you?
want to do the electric slide, and I said, "That's it." I went out back.
What
and,
could piss you off at a wedding so much to throw
dude, I
something?
have anger management
cake.
issues.
Are you now breathing, counting to 10?
Yeah. I mean, I have my own little system of dealing with my anger spiral that I can.
Yeah, she choked me out at America's Dome yesterday.
I did. No, I don't. It was something stupid on my part.
Mm.
You're in your 20s and
Booze.
you're acting like an idiot.
Probably drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that never helps.
Well, good luck, Nick.
It never helps the self-control mechanism.
But I've always I've known so many guys in my life that they've all had to patch up the drywall at their apartments because
Has Tim had to patch up drywall because he's
he
punched
has
something?
at the old house that he lived in with the guys. Yeah, they had to mini holes.
Many holes.
I don't think I put a hole in
They
the
were all right at waist level.
Yeah,
which is
weird.
I don't think I put a hole in the wall.
Weird.
Man, when I get angry,
They were on
Separated
their
bedrooms.
I guess they were like dropping to one knee and punching holes in the wall.
There are glory holes in every room
every
of that
room.
house.
when I get angry, I get very
Welcome to Glory House.
You get still.
I
Moon.
get very
reality
still.
show.
But if anything's in danger, it's the furniture.
Or what? Anger?
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty controlled, and I get very still. But yeah, I think I've taken it out
Now,
on a piece of furniture.
I want to snap my laptop into two pieces at least twice a week.
When you're a kid, though,
Yeah.
you punch pillows. You know what I mean? Like you punch pillows.
No, you put your face down and you scream into the pillow.
Well, no, you give your parents the finger through the door and you silent scream all the stuff you want to say. You cuss at them.
Oh yeah. You just
Now,
hear, like,
yeah,
the
That's my
lips.
favorite thing to do as a kid, to be like,
Yeah, I would never punch a hole in the wall at my parents' house because I would have to deal with those consequences.
yeah.
My own house. It's another story. It's all me. Now, speaking of freeloading, I'm not saying Nick's a freeloader because Nick makes great money. Nick makes good money. The girlfriend makes even better money.
Yes.
Get over yourself. Now, in this situation, this is out of Italy. 75-year-old woman in northern Italy won in court. She sued to have her sons removed from the house.
Oh, well, the sons.
The mom is 75. The sons are 40 and 42.
Dang.
Failure
The
to
two
launch.
sons, described in court papers by their mom as, quote, parasites.
Holy smokes.
This is great.
She lives there too?
Yeah.
This is like, okay. Wow.
The mom describes his two sons as parasites, have been living in the family apartment without contributing financially or helping around the house. Both sons are employed, so both sons have jobs.
This is Will Ferrell. Ma! Meatloaf!
Yeah, but Ma, the meatloaf, Chaz had no job. Remember, Chaz was just picking up chicks at funerals.
Right.
Chaz was a
In his robe.
true freeloader.
Okay.
Yeah.
These guys have jobs, but they don't do it. They live with their mom. Mom pays for everything. They do nothing. So she took him to court to get him the hell out. In a ruling last week, an Italian judge said the two men have until December 18th to vacate the premises.
This is Step Brothers, the sequel.
The mom, who's retired and separated from the dad, lives on a pension that goes towards buying food and maintaining the house. The men hired lawyers, so they had money for lawyers to fight the case and argued that Italian parents are required by law to take care of their children as long as necessary.
Wow.
What law,
Mom?
dude?
Yeah,
What
The law.
What Italian law is this?
I mean, it's a family-based culture.
It is.
A. It's the Olive Garden Act of 1971 says when you're here, you're family.
And when your family,
Sir, that's not
you're here.
that's not a law. That is an advertisement.
That's not binding.
That's great.
Sir, that is not a legally binding contract. That is just a way to give you unlimited breadsticks. Exactly. Here
That's a
in
menu.
2.4, clause 5, unlimited.
What city is this?
This is in northern Italy, a city called Pavia, Pavia.
Huh.
So, yeah, the lawyer for the men told local media that the sons had not decided if they would appeal the court decision.
Holy crap, it's beautiful.
Daft Punk's playing at my house.
It looks like
My
a
house.
it looks like a Game of Thrones city. or
I bet
something.
it does.
Look at this. Look at this long bridge.
Beautiful.
Beautiful Italy.
The long bridge of Atlantis.
Yeah, the fact that the mom describes them as parasites.
This poor lady.
This
She's
poor
like,
lady.
I'm just trying to retire
She's on a
in
pension.
Italy. Right.
They don't want to go anywhere. I get it. Look at that. Look at that.
75 years old.
I give a birth to succubus. Parasites.
I am assuming that's how you would say parasite in
Yeah, sounds
In Italian.
sexier, right?
a parasite.
A parasite.
Yeah, December 18th.
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia. You got to get out. You will taste of my meatballs and no more.
Yes.
Anyway, those are freeloaders. Those are freeloader. That's the definition of freeloader.
Yes.
Right, they're taking advantage of mom like that. Anyway, today is November the 3rd. So today is, as far as holidays go, we have one very important holiday today. I mean, there are some minor ones. Today's cliche day. Today is fountain pen day. Today is love your lawyer day. It's National Housewife Day. It's World Jellyfish Day. Shout out to jellyfishes, guys.
They're so cool. So cool.
And today is also National Sandwich Day. National Sandwich Day. That's today.
Wow.
It's a holiday.
Rafe is standing up.
Oh.
This is
Taking
a
his
holiday
headphones
of all
off,
holidays. in
hat
this
off,
town.
and saluting.
Man,
Because we have declared ourselves a sandwich city.
I didn't realize it was a federal holiday.
Yeah. I don't think you're getting mail today. I think the banks are closed.
Or they better be.
Well, you know who's going to be real excited? Is Robert Trujillo.
Well, you guys were down at the Dome at America Center.
Yeah.
Lern went to go interview Robert Trujillo. Mm-hmm. And Rafe pretended to be her sound man.
Yeah.
I did.
Got him in.
And got him in. Hey, listen, it's not every day Metallica comes to town.
Right.
And it's not every day you get to interview somebody from Metallica.
Right. It was fun.
So you went down to the Dome. You got to interview Robert, the bassist. Mm-hmm. Somehow you guys started talking about sandwiches.
Yeah. Well, they got a little suspicious of my soundman status when I was just holding a Swiffer mop up above my head like a boom mic. And they're like, sir, you're holding a mop. And I'm like, well, I'm level with you, Robert. I'm not a trained sound technician. But yeah, we did get into a conversation post-interview, which you did a great job, by the way.
Thanks.
Excellent
And
interview.
we're actually going to play a little snippet of Lern's interview.
It was cool.
Celebrities.
He was talking about, he had talked about in the interview, and I don't want to give it away because I don't know what soundbite you picked, but he was talking about St. Louis food a little bit up top and how when they go to cities, he likes to get what cities are famous for. And I'm like,
well, and that's what they're doing with this tour. So it's they're playing Friday, day off on Saturday, and they're playing on Sunday. So that day off Saturday, the band, they're going out and they're doing stuff in the cities.
Dude, they've been here since Wednesday. Metallica
I
has
thought
been
they were
in
in.
town.
Oh, okay. I thought they flew in yesterday.
He's been in town for a few days, and he's just eating through our city.
So Robert is a sandwich guy.
big time sandwich guy.
So he
I said,
said
this
to
is
make
a
him a
sandwich
list.
city? And he goes, I'm a sandwich guy. And I said, we're going to get along just fine. I said, you want me to hook you up? Do you want to know the real deal? And he said, and I wrote down some places. He seemed legitimately like he was interested and would go.
Okay, so you wrote Robert Trujillo, bassist
Metallica.
for one of the top 5 biggest bands in the world currently. You wrote down how many sandwich places?
2.
2 sandwich places, all right? I'm going to guess. I have no idea
Okay.
what you wrote down for him. Okay, so I don't know where they're staying. I'm assuming they're probably staying at the Ritz in Clayton
I think he said it was like the Best Western.
or the Pear Tree up
Yeah.
in.
Hampton Inn.
Let me see. Or La Quinta.
Oh, next to Denny's.
Next to Denny's, yeah.
Spanish for the Quinta.
Okay, so I bet you wrote down 2 places. I'm going to say you wrote down Joya's.
Okay. Do you want me to say it? Or
No.
you want
I'm
everybody to
going to
guess?
give you the 2. I'm going to give you the 2. I bet you wrote down Joya's.
Okay.
And I'll bet you wrote down Gramophone. What do you think?
I bet you he wrote down Vivola's, Blue
City
City Deli, or Vivola's and Gramophone.
You don't think you wrote down Joya's?
I don't.
Do you know? What
I
he
know
wrote?
what. Yeah,
Oh, you
I
already
know.
know what he wrote.
I know what he wrote down.
Okay, so Rafe Williams,
Yes.
a guy who knows his sandwiches.
Sandwich King of St. Louis. Oh no. Okay.
Oh, the Queen does not want to put me anywhere
me.
near her hierarchy.
No, I'm not saying.
Hey.
You would declare yourself the king of sandwiches of St. Louis.
I just want to say, when
You're in the king's court.
when we declared St. Louis a sandwich city, it was upon my arrival. That's all I'm saying.
But that doesn't make you the king.
Yeah,
I
man.
thought that's how it worked.
I don't think so.
man.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
know.
I thought it was like Napoleon. Like I took the crown off
No.
of the ground with my sword and put it on my own head.
No, I said
Hey,
you were in the court.
You guys have done tons of interviews with mega stars, and you didn't bring up sandwiches of this city. This man did.
I've been talking about Gramophone since 2014. People are like, "What? What's that? What's
Okay.
that?"
I
Rafe,
will tell you that
I will call you the Earl of Sandwich.
neither of you. That's, that's fine.
Listen, you've been given title,
I like it better.
but don't try to usurp. Don't be a usurper here.
I'm not saying I'm the king of sandwiches.
Rafe
You are
the usurper.
You are the Earl of Sandwiches. St.
Okay.
Louis Earl of Sandwiches.
It's fine. Count sandwich is fine also.
Earl.
I will say that you both got one, but neither of you got both.
Ooh. We both said gramophone, right?
Yeah.
Show me gramophone?
I did not.
So you said
I said
Joya's.
Joya's
He
and
said Joya's
gramophone,
and
so-
Blue City Deli.
Correct.
Yeah.
Joya's and Blue City Deli were the
Oh.
two I gave him. Let me rephrase. Those were the two I gave him with specific orders.
Okay, hot salami, obviously.
Hot salam, and then I told him to get the Blue City. Because he said he liked cold. And I said, if you want cold, go there and just order the classic. And I said, honorable mention. Because he was on his way out. I didn't have time to write down 30 things. I did write, as he was leaving, I quickly scribbled Vivolas and gramophone. So you were both very close.
Okay.
I said, but those were, I didn't give specific instructions, and I didn't say them out loud to him. The only two I said out loud.
I think those are great
I
suggestions.
said, go to, and he goes, I like cold sandwiches. I go, I hear you, Robert Trujillo, but listen to the king of sandwiches. Listen to the Earl. Get the hot salami, even if you don't like hot sandwiches. I'm not a hot sandwich guy, Robert. And I go, but this is like thick cut, because he said he also said he wanted Italian. He goes, Italian delis really turned me on.
You didn't tell us he had requests.
Well, he said it after I'd already written it. And he goes, is this an Italian place? And I go, look at how it's spelled. What do you think? It's spelled Gioias. And it's pronounced Joyas. What do you think?
Idiot,
Right.
right?
Get more Italian
To
than
an idiot
that.
at
And
the
then
end.
yeah, they fist fought.
All right,
He
so
seemed legitimately pumped about it.
do you, as the Earl of Sandwich, prefer cold or hot sandwiches?
All things considered, I would cold.
Me too.
All
I
things
used to
considered,
prefer cold
I'm a
because it
cold
was
sandwich guy.
less messy. And now I think I favor the hot stuff. I've been toasting everything, all my sandwiches.
I
you
like
know what?
soft bread.
Cold used to be good for me too because I was in and out. I don't want to be eating. I want to just get sustenance and get the hell out of here. And now I go home and I do all this meticulous cheese placement and I toast the bread and I've been doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm
here.
a cold sandwich guy. Maybe it's
transformed.
because I grew up going to Italian delis, and that's
Yeah.
unless you were getting a chicken parm or a meatball parm.
Yeah. And I think that's what he was kind of looking for. And I thought, because Gramophone's a lot of hot sandwiches. It's not a ton of cold there,
Yeah,
which is why
Blue City Deli is a cold sandwich place.
Blue City was a cold sandwich place. And once he verbalized he liked cold, that was kind of my, because I feel like Vivola's is a lot of hot sandwiches too.
All right,
They have
so
cold there too.
They got cold sandwiches.
Yeah, they got both.
So I said, being today's National Sandwich Day, I went and looked up the top sandwich places in St. Louis, and I looked on 3 different lists.
Okay.
So I looked on Yelp, I looked on Foursquare, and I looked on TripAdvisor. So according to, there is one sandwich place that is number 1 on all 3 of those lists.
Blue City.
Blue City. Blue City Deli is the number 1 sandwich place on all 3 of those lists.
That's what we told Robert Trujillo last night too. We're like, Blue City Deli is number 1 on national lists. So
Yeah.
Blue City Deli is number 1 on Yelp, number 1 on Foursquare, and number 1 on TripAdvisor. And then we get into some weird, okay, so if you look at Yelp, number 1 is Blue City, number 2 is Gramophone, number 3 is Vitali's Deli on Sappington, which I don't know where that is.
Vitali's.
Vitali's.
Sappington.
That's number 3 on Yelp.
Dang.
What was 2?
Gramophone was 2.
Great.
Vitali's Deli on Sappington was number 3.
Oh yeah, look at that.
That's number 3 on Yelp.
Oh, yeah.
That looks good.
When you said that, dude, your inner thought got out on accident.
Number 4.
It was very sexual.
Number 4 is a place that Rafe and I went to a couple weeks ago, Union Loafers. And shout out to Union Loafers.
It's so good.
Yeah, it is good.
When did you guys go?
We went the day that we went to War Horses Wrestling.
The day they didn't
Oh.
invite us.
Yeah, it's down
No,
there by
not true.
Olia, right?
100% not
Olio?
true.
No,
You
it's
invited us?
Union Loafers is on in Tower Grove.
Yes.
Oh,
I went there for the first time the other day, too, because I got my hair cut over there. And that place was excellent. The bread, so
Dude.
good. I got the turkey and Swiss.
Vitali's is in Kirkwood or Glendale.
Can I say something?
I'm going to try that.
I've never had Vitali's,
I've never had Vitali's either.
No.
and I feel a little. As the Earl of Sandwich, as the Duke of Duke's Mayonnaise, as the
Look at that.
Count of Monte Cristos, I feel
The fact
A
that
little
you
embarrassed.
you haven't been to a top 5 place on
a
Yelp.
little embarrassed. by
5
that.
out of 5 on TripAdvisor with 2 reviews.
Look at
Okay,
that. Is
so-
that a muffaletta, dude? Because I could go.
sure
for a
does
good
look like it,
muffaletta,
right?
Dude,
bro.
muffaletta with the
I'm a big
olive
fan.
with the olive tapenade. Woo, right?
daddy.
Okay, so Union Loafers, excellent number 4, and then Vivol is number 5 on
Nice.
Yelp. Then you got Elaine's Classic American Sandwiches on Cherokee, Nomad STL on Tam Avenue, Fozzie's Sandwich Emporium on Big Bend, the Sando Shack, and then Joe Fozzie Sandwich Factory on the Hill. Those are the top 10 on Yelp.
Joe Fozzie's. I always forget about Joe Fozzie's. This really is a sandwich city, dude. There's so many good sandwich places you forget.
Oh, and so that's Yelp. Wait till I get to Foursquare, because there are some sandwiches that have been omitted on Yelp.
Was Joya's on the Yelp?
No.
Well, that's an erroneous list. Trash this list.
I haven't
Sorry.
been to a lot of those places, but Joy's did not make the top 10 on Yelp.
That's ridiculous.
Foursquare. 1, Blue City. 2, LeGrand's Market.
LeGrand's is dope, and I almost
LeGrand's is dope.
pivoted.
Have we had Legrand's here before?
Yeah. They've delivered. I think they delivered when we were downtown.
Okay. Because I know, I mean, you guys, you've been talking about
Dude,
Legrand's
when I lived in South City.
for the 10 years we've been doing a show together, and I can't
I
picture
thought your
it.
dad liked that place.
My dad loves anything down in like Southwest Market. Like, I mean, that's his
around that area.
That's his spot. Well, he's got his one Kip's place over at Southwest Market, Southwest Deli, right there on
I
Southwest.
thought your dad went to LeGrand's.
No, my dad doesn't go anywhere except for
He's got his thing.
Southwest Market.
Because LeGrand's is right by Donut Drive-In.
Yeah,
It's
across the
by-
street.
It's by me, and I don't go there enough for as close as it is to me.
That is have you had LeGrand's?
No.
Oh, man.
Looks
It
like we
says
got a
on-
little tour.
It says on the side of the place, what, Tomboy?
4.9 stars on Google.
LeGrand's number 2. Adriana's number 3. Adriana's, I love.
Yeah,
You don't like it?
I like it.
One of the first places I've ever been to.
Do
in
I think
St.
it's
Louis.
number 3 in the city? I don't want to I don't want to besmirch it because it is a good place, but I got
Yeah,
it.
that's a good sandwich.
It's not
That's
bad.
a good sandwich on the hill.
Here's Southwest Market. Also, 5 out of 5 on TripAdvisor.
Southwest did not make the top.
And all that
Not
does,
on any lists.
all that is a testament to the great city of sandwiches.
Yeah, there's so many.
Because there's so many, you can only have 5 in the top
Number
5.
4 on Foursquare
Crazy.
is Pickles Deli in the Central West End.
Oh man, I had that.
Pickles.
I've had that before, and it was great. And I've had that before, and it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I caught somebody on a bad day. Yeah.
And by the way, Mom's Deli did not make any of these lists.
That's a bummer.
Also a great place.
I still have like a gift card, or it was like a gift check, one of those things to Pickles, because after this one instance, I just never spent it again.
Pickles is number 4 on the Foursquare.
I
Then
mean,
Crown Candy's number 5.
I need to give it another chance.
Crown Candy's 5. Russell's on Mackland 6. Focus Fountain on Locust. Russell's on Mackland.
Still never had a.
Fountains in 7.
Fountain's number 7.
Listen, love the Fountains. It is a cool place. Great cocktails.
I'll be honest.
Great ice cream cocktails. But I don't feel like they're famous. I don't feel like sandwiches is what they're leading with there.
Agree. I've never had a sandwich there, and I still have never had Crown Candy. Every single time I go down there,
Crown Candy's BLT is like
that's what
It's
everybody.
famous.
That's what everybody says. And every time I go there, I'm like, I'm not
Money.
standing in that line. The line
Yeah,
is
the
crazy
BLT.
because it's always on the way to somewhere, and I'm like, oh, I'll take a slight detour and I'll go get a
But
sandwich.
Crown
I'm like, I don't
Candy
have time
doesn't
for
feel
this.
like, even Crown Candy, I know it's a St. Louis institution, doesn't feel like a
A sandwich
sandwich
place.
Right.
destination.
Yeah.
That feels like more of a,
Sweets destination.
yes.
Fountain on Locust 7. Union Loafers 8. Gramophone 9. Amaghetti's.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I can't remember.
Number 11 is Mom's Deli. Okay, so
Okay.
Mom's Deli did make Foursquare's list.
Oh, Mom's
Joya's. Number 12. Pickleman's.
Pickleman's.
listen,
We have
Pickleman's
one
is-
down the street.
Wait, that's a chain, right?
yeah. I think it's a St.
It's a
Louis
local
chain.
chain. It's a
Oh,
local
it
chain.
is. Oh,
It's good.
I know
but
the owner.
oh, maybe that's what I got a gift.
Pickelman's
check
is
to.
great,
It is, man.
but Joya's is way low.
And then Kayaks Cafe is number 15.
Oh, and the Loop? No.
Just it's
Dalu?
on
Skinker?
Skinker.
Yeah. I think, I've had lunch there before.
It's on the corner.
Right.
Oh, it's by the metro station.
Like Forest.
Yeah, it's by Forest Park.
Park, yeah.
That's all right. It's all right. And then TripAdvisor, number 1, Blue City Deli, number 2, Adriana's, number 3, Joya's. And then the thing with TripAdvisor, as far as their list goes, they put a lot of barbecue places on there because you can get barbecue sandwiches.
Sure.
So 4 was Pappy's, Hendel's, number 5, Crown Candy, 6, John McGurk's Irish Pub,
Great spot.
7,
in O'Fallon?
No, that's in Soulard.
Soulard.
Oh, didn't they have an O'Fallon one for a while? I feel like I've been out there.
Really?
John D. McGurk's.
Yo,
Bogart's 8, Shaved Duck.
I think
9.
if more people knew about Heavy Smoke and their sandwiches, I think they'd make these lists.
Absolutely.
And it's only a matter of time.
It's only a matter of time.
It truly is only a matter of time because the sandwiches they have out there, including that King Scott sandwich,
Excellent.
is so freaking good. That is tourist worthy. That is like send people that are new to town to Heavy Smoke.
Oh, yeah.
And it will make the lists. It's just a matter of time.
Oh, they'll break, yeah. They're going to break. And then a Daily Smokehouse, number 10 on TripAdvisor's list. So, hey, happy National Sandwich Day.
Thank you.
And also with you.
Go out. Go eat a sandwich.
Man, I'm seeing Metallica on National Sandwich Day, and there's this chance. There's a high probability that a letter that I wrote to Robert Trujillo will be in his back pocket during the concert. I do it all the time. I wrote it on a little piece of paper. He shoved it in the back pocket of his pants. There's a good chance he's just going to forget it's back there. He's going to take a break, guitar pick. He loses it. He just reaches in his back pocket to grab a guitar pick. He pulls out Joya's and Mom's Deli, and he looks up into the box, and he just gives me the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Which pocket did he put it in? Back right or back left?
Back right.
Okay, back right. That is the
Pickpocket?
pickpocket.
Well, is he a lefty or righty?
He's a righty.
Okay. That is the pickpocket. So,
Dude,
okay.
if that happens tonight,
What did you get thanked on the next record?
The liner notes.
Yeah, you're in the liner notes on the
stopped
next
the
record.
show.
Yeah.
I just like to thank Raf, R-A-F-F.
Yeah, Rafe. Yeah.
Chase, that's what they're
That's
Rafe
what he
Williams.
called me. Chase Williams, thank you so much.
Great sandwich today. Shout out to Chase Williams. All right, before we move on to crap on celebrities, and we got a lot to get to today. Gravity Kills will be here later,
Allegedly.
hopefully with a tray full of sandwiches.
Allegedly. Oh my gosh, Lern
listen,
has been giving
from
them
what
crap since yesterday, and I am
They were supposed
loving
to be here
it.
yesterday, from what I understand. Somebody got their dates mixed up.
That's all right.
That you know what? You know that's on me, because I should have been more.
Is it on you?
Yeah. Yeah, because I left it up to the boss.
He's got a lot going on.
He's got a lot going on, and I should have been more proactive.
I like that
in
you're taking
following up on stuff.
responsibility for something that's not your fault. So great.
That's fine. All right, so let's shut down the votes for the Craigslist Freak of the Week. Somebody's asking where King Scott is. King Scott is on vacation. He'll be back on Tuesday.
Yeah, he's on a jet ski in Canada, is what we hear.
Yep. Love and life.
That's right.
Love and life. All right, so quarterfinal matchup yesterday, 2 ads going at it, the number 4 seed and the number 5 seed, and thank you for all your votes. And we got to say congratulations, moving on to the semifinals. One step closer to that Craigslist Freak of the Year title with 69% of your vote. Congratulations
Of course.
to Pooter McGavin.
Cake farts. Man for woman, 28 years old, Seoul, South Korea. What is your favorite cake topping? Hee hee. I'll tell you mine. Big rippin' farts. I want a playful pooter to spend the evening with me, giving me my favorite sweet treat. Chainsaw farts on moist, spongy cakes. I love many types of cakes ready to receive your essence. Want a cool sensation? Get naked from the waist down and spread your cheeks. Then plop down on an ice cream cake. Ice cream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Tee-hee. I literally can't get enough. Watching that icing bubble with the shockwave of your flatulence sends shivers down my spine and makes the hairs on my body and other things stand on end. I will Joe while I watch you unload a long, loud, stinky one right on top like a cherry, just for me. After you beef all over my little handheld treat, I will then gobble it up while it's fresh and get that fart into my belly. Once I hit my finish line, you can do whatever you want to me. Cover me in cake and icing, turn me inside out. I would like to videotape all of our play, if you're cool with it. I won't show your face, only that noisy little ass. P.S. I don't expect you to do all the work. I will prepare a meal that will make you very gassy, so you can bake me up some fresh air biscuits, cauliflower, cabbage, beans, onions, chocolate milk, anything else you request that stirs up your insides. I'm an American living in soul, hoping to find another American out there.
All right, congratulations to Pooter McGavin. Moving on to the semifinals on November 16th. We'll see Pooter McGavin go up against Scatatui.
Wow.
In the semifinals. Next week, it's another quarterfinal matchup. Susan Boyle and Jason Gisringhausen. Hey, one more time for Lady Kaka, by the way. That's our mukbanger. Great showing.
Yes.
31% of the vote. Made a good run. But alas, Lady Kaka into the garbage.
Big ripping farts just prevailed, you know?
Yeah. Hey, before we hit the break, we got to shout out the hats of the week. All 5 of these companies have made very generous donations to the Song Society. Song Society is an organization helping sick kids with music therapy.
Yes. Great organization.
Great organization. And we'll start with Moon's Head, is sponsored by
Faster House. Big thank you to Faster House, your local home buyer. If you or somebody you know has a house that they need sold quickly, Faster House is the place to go. No formal inspections. You don't have to deal with contingencies. You won't deal with any shenanigans. They'll get you to the closing table even if the house smells like cats or if something else is going on that you know is just going to make it difficult. Faster House will make it easy. Check out fasterhouse.com to learn more.
Thank you, Faster House. Lern, you're next.
Yes, golf carts to fit all budgets. Getawaycarts.com. They're a St. Louis golf cart dealer. They have new and used golf carts. They even have e-bikes, financing available, full service and customization of the golf carts available too, which is really cool. You can go onto their website, getawaycarts.com, or call them when they're open later today, 314-650-2951.
Thank you,
Getaway Carts.
Rafe.
Cue the exploder sound effect. Flynn Landscaping, specializing in lawn landscape maintenance, irrigation, and arbor care in Ladue, Frontenac, and surrounding areas. Now hiring salary and hourly employees up to $78,000 per year. That was the sound drop of money going into your bank account. Paid vacation and sick days and paid training and certifications. If you need work done or you need a new career change, go to flynnlandscapinginc.com or call 314-243-6784 for more info.
Thank you, Flynn Landscaping, and Scott's sponsor this week.
That's right. He's been riding high atop Carl's head in the corner. It's Just In Time Pro. Just in time contracting and remodeling. Fall and the holidays are approaching. We're just starting to spend more time indoors, and you're looking around your house, and you're like, might be time to get the kitchen updated. Bathroom, finished basement, painting project, or maybe just a few minor repairs. Justin and his team of remodeling contractors help you make that a reality. He's been serving the St. Louis area since 2002. Give him a call directly. See how he can be of service to you today at 314-570-2000, 314-570-2000, or reach out on Facebook at JustinTime247.
And My Head is sponsored by Trimlight Southeast Missouri. Trimlight Southeast Missouri is an innovative patented lighting system that allows customers to have permanent exterior lighting professionally installed on their homes, businesses, eliminating the hassle and worry out of hanging Christmas or holiday lights ever again. One-time install, lifetime glow, no more hassle. Trimlight Southeast Missouri, serving Southeast Missouri and surrounding areas. They will come to you. TrimlightSemo.com, TrimlightSemo.com. And that is sponsored by Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill, proud sponsor of Team Rizz. Head up hotshotsnet.com/Team Rizz. From Wentzville, Missouri, Patrick Tebow is our Team Rizz of the day. Patrick started listening to the Rizz Show in 2017 and is a loyal podcast weirdo. Spreads the good word of Rizz to all and has turned multiple people onto the podcast in other parts of the country. Well, thank you. It's awesome. A Rizz evangelist. Loves the current lineup featuring Lern and Rafe. Matchup with the Moon is one of his favorite things. Friday Fail Stories. Headline Hooshe. Patrick Tebow from Wentzville is our Team Rizz member of the day. Get super sweet Team Rizz member of the day soccer jersey. Get yourself signed up 1057thepoint.com/Team Rizz. All right, we'll take our first break of the morning. We'll come back with Crap on Celebrities. It is 7:17 Friday, traffic and weather. Moon coming at you.
Traffic is brought to you by Worldwide Technology Raceway. The biggest race of 2024 is Sunday, June 2nd. Time to lock in your NASCAR Cup Series tickets now at www.raceway.com. We got a lane blocked due to debris on the road 170 northbound at St. Charles Rock Road. We also have a crash 44 westbound at Limburg and the Kirkwood Road right there, and it seems to be potential for a mess. Lane blocked due to debris on the road 44 eastbound at Hampton or just after Hampton. Your point forecast today, breezy, high of 66. Right now it's 42 at the Point Studio. And your point forecast is brought to you by CarX Tire and Auto.
All right, Lern, what do you got for us?
Well, we're going to try it again, Beatles. Bigwigs make fake Twitter profiles to troll too sometimes. Updates on your favorite shows. We're going to play a little bit from my conversation with Robert Trujillo last night. And one of my favorite people is in the news again, and I absolutely hate it. All that and more.
All right, we got that. We got your crappy birthdays. We got the porno birthday. And do you think every movie at the theater should include an intermission? We're going to chop it up next. Stay there. Back to the Rizz Show. Phone number 314-624-3833, 618-398-3833. They make all studio cams. 1057thepoint.com/Rizz. The socials at RIZZ Show. Your emails. RizzShow1057thepoint.com. Crab on celebrities in just a second, including Lern's interview, or a snippet of the interview with Robert Trujillo of Metallica. Rafe's In Memoriam on the way. Friday Fail Stories. Gravity Kills will be here. Most likely, at 8 o'clock.
We're optimistic.
They got a big show next Saturday over the pageant. I'm going to ask them, is it a reunion show? Because they play like here and there.
Right. Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dude, their career and relationship with this radio station, I mean, it's just so intertwined.
This is the first place I listened to Gravity Kills.
This is the first place somebody ever heard Gravity Kills.
Yeah.
Ever. So, interesting story. Hey, remember when Avengers Endgame came out and fans were sharing spoiler-free tips on when to take bathroom breaks? Because that was a long-ass movie.
Yep.
Like, okay, so if you need to really go to the bathroom, wait till this time of the movie and then run, and you won't really miss anything. That was 3 hours long. So those tips went viral. This year, Oppenheimer, 3 hours long. Killers of the Flower Moon, 3 hours and 26 minutes long.
I love it. I when I see long running time, I'm like, this is my style.
Yeah.
I like this. Yeah, I typically love long movies.
So a new poll asked if we should have intermissions for movies shown in theaters.
It's a big journey. I love big journeys. I mean, if it's worthy of a 3 hour something movie, then I'm stoked. I feel like I'm seeing closer to what a director's cut would be.
Yeah, because how many times have you heard of a movie coming out, it being, a tight 90 minutes, and them talking about stuff that was, left on the editing room floor?
Right.
Yeah, and then a director's cut comes out and there's 22 added minutes. 22 added minutes? Like, come on, man, give me it. I want it all.
If there's a 3 hour movie, should there be an intermission?
I think so, yeah, man.
You okay with it?
Yeah, I like seeing the whole film, and, we're getting up there. We're all pushing 40 or in our 40s at this point, and bladder can't hold as it once did.
Well, don't drink 64 ounces of... Well,
why would I even go to the movie if I'm not going to drink 64 ounces of a $27 soda? I'm drinking as much as I can drink. I'll drink it out. I drink Sprite. You got to go. They did. Remember when Dances with Wolves came out? It had an intermission.
Did it really?
I remember seeing it in the theater and being like, that was nice. They literally gave you... Dances with Wolves was like the first movie when I was a kid that was like really long. They did like a long director's cut. But now they're all getting that long.
I don't want that. I don't want that.
I don't want an intermission.
I've prepared.
I just want to cruise through.
Yeah, don't a
3-hour movie, you don't want a 5-minute intermission.
No, I don't want you to interrupt the flow of everything. That's not how it was made. I like, just because you got an issue doesn't mean I need to suffer.
Because I know I'm going to be back on my seat first going, let's go.
We
started up already.
We went to a 4:40 showing of a movie the other day, and I thought this was over. I thought they won that lawsuit about having to start at 4:40. It didn't start until after 5. 5:02 or something.
They have to tell you when the actual movie starts.
20-something minutes. It ruined it. I had to miss the ending because I had to take the kid to Cub Scouts.
Here's why I think you're both full of crap.
What?
Because I don't believe
my movie
that
habits.
either of you sit at home and get a movie on Netflix or Apple. I believe either of you sat through The Irishman from start to finish without pausing it.
Okay, but I was at home.
100% I did.
So you're saying it interrupts the flow of the movie? How does that not interrupt the flow if you're at home?
I didn't say anything about flow.
Oh,
I did.
He's a flow guy.
I'm
a let's go guy.
I'm a flow guy too, and I got to let it flow about an hour and a half in.
Let's go. Because I know I'm going to be back first in my seat going, all right, everybody.
And then you got to wait for everybody to come back.
And then people are late. And then people are late. People are late coming back.
Right.
And they're moving around.
Excuse me.
They're getting in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to the idea, but give me the option. Here's Theater 8, intermission crap.
Exactly.
Theater 9.
Okay.
Big boys.
Let's give me options.
That's
This is an intermission movie. This is not an intermission movie.
3 hours.
fine.
It ain't that long.
3 hours is a long time to sit in a theater in one spot without having to get up and be pounding like a soda. That's a long time, dude. I would be willing to bet. I mean, when I sit in a movie, that I see people getting up and going to the bathroom all the time.
Yeah.
At different times.
That's
so
on them.
they're
It's their
interrupting
problem.
almost constant interruption. As opposed to if you knew, like, hey, I got to hold it, but an hour 20 in, I get a break.
Hey, which do they charge more for?
No, same price.
That's not how the world works.
Same price. Same price.
I say, I guarantee if they did this, if they made this the option, which is reasonable, honestly, because I mean, how many blockbusters are in the theaters at once now? You know what I mean? Like the theaters are kind of struggling and doing things a little bit differently. If they started doing this intermission thing, I bet you there's $1 surcharge for an intermission.
I would think intermissions would be in their favor because you're more likely to come out in the lobby and maybe buy something.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're right. But
Yes.
they'll still probably charge you more.
Remember Scorsese? They asked him about it, and he's like, "No, this doesn't need an intermission."
And he would be the intermission guy because all of his movies are so long.
Yeah.
But no director thinks their art needs to be interrupted.
Did Tarantino put an intermission in the last one?
I think he might have done one in Grindhouse because it was like that weird. That was a Rodriguez thing, but when they did like the two movies in one,
Yeah.
Well, that
but I
makes
think
sense.
that was like a
That's
throwback.
That's a natural.
Yeah, that was like entertaining.
Imagine somebody. What's a big artist that has like a 21-minute song? I know Jeff always talked about somebody
like Dream Theater.
Yeah. Imagine them going like, "Here's a good time to pause." Like, I mean, this is art. Like we're putting something together for a particular cadence and a flow, and to imagine any of these directors saying, "Sure, it's okay. Let's put an intermission here. I'll give you a good time." That's just not.
Well, imagine you play a concert, Goldfinger's headlining, and there's no breakdown. The opening band plays, and the minute their last note is played, you guys go on stage and start playing. There's no turnover. There's no time for anyone to go get a beer or go to the porta potties. And you see everybody like shuffling out.
That is
On your first song, you'd be like, oh, where's the intermission?
That is what would happen, but that's different because we're trained for that for two reasons. One, the changeover for instruments and amps.
I get that, but let's just live in a world where...
Yeah, he's just saying it's...
Let's live in a world...
Right. Plus, bars want shows to open at a certain time and not close before a certain time because
So do
they're trying
movie
to sell.
theaters.
Yeah, they're trying to sell booze. I'm just saying, like that's the standard.
Oh, I've been to...
There's commerce involved in movie theaters.
I don't see the equivalency.
Have you played a festival where it's a rotating stage where the
I
one
just
band,
did. When we were
one band is, dude, this is awesome.
When we were
They
young
just flip
festival,
it.
when we were
They
young
just turn
festival,
the stage.
we had four stages out there, and they were
I've seen
rotating
it.
stages. And when starting line or whoever was in front of us, I forget, what was playing, our guys were checking behind a wall on the exact same stage, trying to match their
I've never
snare
seen
so we're
that,
not
but that
throwing
sounds
them up.
awesome.
That's exactly what we did.
Rolling
And-
Rock Town Fairs, I saw that for the first time, was like STP was playing on one side of the stage facing the crowd, and Incubus was warming up on the other side of the wall.
Bro, that's a lazy Susan.
And they literally-
of
Yes,
music.
it is a
Turn
giant.
the
It's a
stage.
stage-size Lazy Susan.
Here I go.
And it's happening on multiple stages, so there's never downtime. So as soon as that last band stopped, our stage started rotating, and the stage manager was like, "Okay, everything is good. 40 seconds."
Yep, awesome.
And we played.
Anyway, so a new poll asked if we should have intermissions for movies shown in theaters. 24% said yes for movies at least 3 hours long. Another 23% said yes for ones at least 2 hours long. 25% said no, never an intermission. And 12% said all movies. All movies.
Should have a
Should have
pause
an
button.
intermission.
These people have loose bowels.
Young adults are more likely to want the intermission than old folks, who would proudly boast about sitting through Gone with the Wind back in the day.
Is that an attention thing? They haven't checked TikTok in an hour and a half.
Yeah, probably.
And I mean that as a slight. I mean, like.
Oh, no, that's a slight.
No. I'm saying,
true.
is it an attention span?
I don't know. They didn't
Like,
give a reason. All right, today is November 3rd. Back in the day, 93 years ago in 1930, the Bank of Italy is renamed
Italy's Bank.
Bank of America.
Oh, really?
Oh.
75 years ago, 1948, the Chicago Tribune mistakenly called the presidential election for the wrong candidate, which allowed and amused Missouri's own Harry S. Truman to claim victory while holding the headline, Dewey defeats Truman, down at Union Station. 66 years ago, 1957, the first space dog. Yep, first dog shot into space.
Oh,
The Russians launched the second man-made satellite, Sputnik 2, into orbit with a dog named Laika as its passenger. One-way ticket.
Wow.
Is Sputnik 2 still floating around somewhere in space with poor Laika's bones inside?
Dog bones.
Discuss.
I'm sad.
Discuss.
Yeah, isn't it messed up?
I mean, yeah, it is very messed up. By the way, I've been watching Fall of the House of Usher, and there's animal
so good.
testing in that show, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but let's just say that Cat gets revenge, and I'm it pleased me to no end. Back to you.
45 years ago, 1978, Different Strokes, starring the late, great Gary Coleman, debuted on NBC. 35 years ago, 1988, Geraldo Rivera's gorgeous nose was broken with a chair when skinheads brawled on his show. Anybody remember the video of that?
Oh, yeah.
It's just a chair goes flying.
It just goes,
Wait, and on Jerry?
No, on Geraldo Rivera's.
Oh, no. I
talk
don't
show.
It's like a white supremacist, right?
It was a skinheads.
It arced like a football pass. It just,
Yeah. 33 years ago, 1990, Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice hit #1 on the pop singles chart, the first rap song ever to top the pop chart. And I was thinking, okay, so Vanilla Ice hits #1 for the first time ever with a rap song. What is like the early rappers who the pioneers think? Like that's the first song in this genre to hit #1 is Ice Ice Baby from Vanilla Ice.
Right.
yeah.
What does Chuck D think about that?
Well, while the East Coast was celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip hop, earlier this year, there was a huge article in the New York Times where they interviewed all sorts of different hip hop artists and whatnot. And Vanilla Ice still thinks that he was like the original guy because of all the praise from Ice Ice Baby. And lots of people are disagreeing.
It was
with that.
#1.
Yes.
First #1, Ice Ice Baby. 31 years ago, 1992, Billy Clinton was erected.
Erected. Nice.
Well,
Hey.
Freudian slip.
Billy
Erection.
Clinton was
Hello.
elected the 42nd president of the U.S. That same day, Whitney Houston released I Will Always Love You. Also, Rage Against the Machine released their self-titled debut record. 29 years ago, 1994, the first Sony PlayStation consoles released. 27 years ago, 1996, Kobe Bryant makes his NBA debut at 18 years old. 25 years ago, Jesse Ventura elected Minnesota's governor. That same day, Britney Spears at 16 releases her debut single, Baby One More Time. And 9 years ago today, in 2014, New York's One World Trade Center opened for business more than 13 years after the terrorist attacks that took down the Twin Towers. Freedom Tower stands at a very patriotic 1,776 feet tall, with a height matching the year the Declaration of Independence was signed. And that's what happened back in the day. All right, here we go. Time to find out what's going on in the world of music and entertainment with your Crap on Celebrities.
And it's brought to you by Bright House Plumbing. Call the best, flush the rest, brighthouseco.com, 636-600-0188. The long-awaited new Beatles song is called Now and Then, and unlike yesterday, we have it.
You want to hear it?
I want to hear a little bit of it. I haven't listened to it.
You haven't listened to it?
So this could be wrong. It is music.
Okay, before I heard it this morning, did you see who it's being compared to?
Oasis.
Right.
Yeah. And that makes sense. Oasis heavily influenced by the Beatles.
I don't hear it, especially in this little clip.
What makes you think that?
What do you mean?
I was joking.
Oh.
What makes you think
At least
that?
they admit it.
The sound.
At least Oasis admits it.
The look, the haircuts, the band, the everything.
Everything but they have no kindness in that band like the Beatles.
At least Oasis admits it.
Yeah.
Not
for
like
sure.
Greta Van Fleet, who's like, who's Led Zeppelin?
Right. That's a good point.
Here we go. Here's New Beatles.
Death Beetle.
It's okay.
That's a good Beatles
Man.
Good Beatles B-side.
That might be the best Beatles song I've ever heard.
Well, it's the last one you're ever going to hear, too, because it's the last recording ever to feature all four Beatles together. The song was taken from an old unreleased demo by John Lennon. Guitar parts recorded by George Harrison during the mid-'90s with his anthology sessions. And Paul and Ringo finished the song last year using AI technology to separate Lennon's vocals from the original demo. It's everywhere. You can see the Peter Jackson music video out now. One of my favorite rock stars of all time is... I'm so conflicted. I'm not conflicted. It's just I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with Steven Tyler. I'm just going to be really honest with everyone.
Curious case of Steven Tyler.
This is somebody who I've loved my whole life, and I'm trying to wrap my head around the allegations that have come forward, 40 plus years after they've happened and different things going on. But, he's got another case that is being talked about today in the news. He's being sued for an alleged sexual assault of a 17-year-old girl in 1975.
How long ago was that? That's
75. So what is that?
48 years ago. 48 years ago. How do you prove that?
Well, I don't know, but it's essentially we're listening to this woman. Rolling Stone reports that this woman named Jeannie filed a suit in New York on Thursday, and she was a child model who claims that she met Steven Tyler in New York when she was just 17. He was around 27. And then she alleges that Tyler, saw her on the street. I'm just going to paraphrase, approached her into a phone booth. The band was with him. He kissed her. He touched her everywhere. Obviously, allegedly assaulted this woman. And she's coming forward now. There's no talk about what she's wanting out of this. She's obviously suing him, so she's wanting something. But I'm just so... And I've had this on my mind all year because I was so excited to go to Aerosmith, and that first alleged case came out like at the beginning of the year. And I just think of all the work that Steven Tyler
That one he
has
wrote
done.
about in the book.
Yes, the first one you're talking about.
The concubine? The girl that was like signed over by her parents
Yes,
or whatever?
which was so...
That he wrote about in the book.
That's just a wild
story.
moment in time.
I know, and you're such a fan.
I'm such a fan, but I also believe women, right? So like I'm listening.
No, I guess
you.
It's okay to say you believe women, but at some point you got to say some of this stuff is you can't believe blanketly.
No, absolutely not.
Like that can't be a blanket statement. Though.
I'm listening. I think the thing that we all need to say with this and with anything like that is I'm listening. I'm listening. I don't know what's going to happen with this. My conspiracy fan brain goes, is this the reason why the tour was trashed?
I thought that too.
Did you?
Oh, man, I hadn't even considered that.
Why they canceled the tour because this?
Not because of the second one, because the first one maybe they knew something else was coming out.
That went through my head too.
Yeah,
but it's okay to say some of this stuff is like let's not jump all in with the I believe this woman.
I want to know more. I'm listening. And I know everybody listening has a musician or a celebrity that you love.
I think it's okay to question too. Okay, so why? So 48 years.
Yeah.
40 years later, you bring it up, and it's like a he said, she said thing. I don't know how this could be proven.
They have to just go to trial. You have to go to trial with it, right? You have to say it's a he said, she said.
But how is that even fair?
Oh, are they pressing charges?
That's all crimes.
Are there charges or something?
Yeah, she's suing him for
48 years later. How is that? I'm not a lawyer. Thank God I'm not a judge.
Well, and the other part of this one...
How do you prove that?
The other part of this one that is now bringing in not just Steven Tyler, but the rest of the guys are involved in this new one because this woman alleges that, all the guys were on New York Street when this happened. They did nothing. She also... And we'll post a lot of the story on the blog. You can read it at rollingstone.com, but... There's more to it too. Like she goes back to the hotel and like.
I wonder if there's DNA. I mean,
right? I don't know.
Even 48 years DNA evidence, is that still valid? I don't know.
I don't know either, man. But I'm listening. I just want to say that, and I hate it.
Yeah, but also don't yell at somebody for questioning. I'm not saying you are.
Also, like privately we've had this conversation, and I feel like you carry a lot of weight. You're so empathetic and care so much about these issues that you carry a lot of weight of things that you can't. It's okay to enjoy Aerosmith's music while these things are pending.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you really look, this is the weird thing to me, and I am in no way defending it. It's a weird situation.
Throw Michael Jackson in there.
Throw Elvis Presley in there. Throw Jerry Lee Lewis
Lennon
in there. She was just 17. There was a different time happening in the 50s, 60s, 70s where it would be indefensible by today's standards, but it was like the teenage queen and like the rock star teenage girl dynamic was really odd and somewhat accepted in society at that time. You know, this is when people were getting married. You know, your grandpa and your grandpa may have gotten married when they were
Way
16 years old.
Yeah.
It was, by today's standards, it's odd and it's weird, and culture has moved on. But it's like, this is 50 years ago, and the concubine thing is super weird.
Oh, yeah. And
the parents signing their daughter over is super weird.
Right.
I'm not taking away the creepiness of that.
Not at all.
That whole puzzle hasn't been put together for me.
That is super creepy.
It's
I'm
super
not,
creepy.
and somebody on the instant feedback is like, what about the 14-year-old girl that her parents, that he talked her parents into signing over? Way creepy.
Yeah.
Way creepy.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know.
He's a creep. You know, I mean, like, that was a weird time. But I'm saying, like, I don't think, as a fan of Aerosmith, you know, it's not like you're not allowed to enjoy the music.
Well, and also, Steven Tyler, he started Janie's Fund like in the 90s or maybe late 90s, which is an organization, a nonprofit that helps sexually abused women. And I'm not, some people conspiracy say, well, that's a cover up for,
yeah.
No, I think that he has daughters. Not that that's an excuse, but like, I think that he over time has evolved, as all people do. And I'm like, if this were coming out that he in his 70s abused anyone, obviously, whoa, that's holy crow. Like, stop me in my tracks. This from a time when women, like, you know, even me at 17 would have thrown myself, I'm talking just from my experience, not this woman's. I would have, if I saw Steven Tyler on the street, I would have kissed him on the face immediately. Like, I just, you know.
It's hearsay 48 years later.
Yeah.
I don't know how you prove it in court.
I don't know.
Unless you're looking for a settlement.
I'm sorry if that makes anybody uncomfortable. I had to get it out because I have been thinking about this all damn year. Well.
Yeah. I feel.
Yeah. Anyway, in other news, there's a new Cannibal Corpse coloring book, and it's really cool. So get yourself some of that.
It comes with 3 crayons.
Yeah.
White, black,
you
and
guys
gray.
like juxtaposition?
Yeah, white, black, gray, and red.
Somebody joked, how many different variations of blood can I color on this Cannibal Corpse coloring book? Anyway.
The name of the coloring book is... It's actually, you can pick it up at Barnes & Noble.
Britney Spears, her sons, Sean and James, they do not see themselves meeting their mother anytime soon after she released her memoir. The kids are saying that they're upset. This was really difficult for them to read, especially the news about the abortion. So obviously they're thinking, like, could this have been a sibling that we had? Like, so her kids are like, we don't want to see our mom. And I tried looking up, like, how long it's been since she's had a relationship with her sons, and I couldn't really find anything definitive. But I mean, this
as a parent, you do have to be cognizant of everything you do. The kids have to deal with as well.
Right.
We kind of deal with that in this job too. Like, okay, I've made a decision to jump off a 30-foot high dive with wearing a Speedo. That's going to be around forever. My kids are going to see that. They have to deal with that fallout too.
Yeah.
This tell-all book, it's going to affect them. I wonder if she even, or probably not.
Well, I think that this is everybody else that's being talked about in this book is not going to affect her. I think her kids having problems with it is going to be the thing that breaks her maybe pride of releasing this. You know, if anybody's going to make her feel like crap for telling her side of anything, it's going to be her kids that she cares about the most, more than anybody else on this earth. So we'll have to see how this goes. One last thing. In a new report from Rolling Stone magazine, HBO CEO, this guy named Casey Bloys, has admitted to creating secret fake Twitter accounts to troll critics.
Wild story.
It is. This guy, so he would see reviews that would make him frustrated. He would then get on his fake Twitter profile, and it was only like a handful of tweets.
He did it a handful of times.
But he had to, like, release the steam, I guess, of what they were working on at HBO. And he said, when you think of that in that mindset, when you think of 2021, I'm home working from home, spending an unhealthy amount of time scrolling through Twitter, and I came up with a very, very dumb idea to vent my frustration.
Yes, this is the CEO?
This is the CEO of
CEO
HBO.
of HBO was trolling critics that didn't like HBO shows with fake Twitter accounts.
Huh. Fascinating.
It was just 6 tweets over a year and a half, so it's not like crazy.
Still.
Okay.
But he said, I do apologize to the people who were mentioned in the leaked emails and texts, because I guess some of this got out, and it's embarrassing.
It's very embarrassing. You're better than that.
The conclusion of Yellowstone Season 5 is going to premiere in November of next year. A new prequel called 1944 and a modern-day spinoff called 2024 are also in the works. There's also another spinoff on its way to Paramount Plus called 6666. But despite what you may have heard about lawman Bass Reeves being a spinoff of 1883, the showrunners for that new David Oyelowo, I can't say his last name, series premiering this weekend, decided to make it a standalone show. So that's just kind of like a rundown of all those shows.
I gotta get involved with that show.
Which one?
Yellowstone.
Yeah,
I gotta do it.
It's all right. It's really.
I feel
great.
like I gotta jump in. It's a
Well, it's
cultural
real
phenomenon.
It's really great for a while, and then it becomes so soapy and so dumb. You're just kind of like, I don't know.
It's pretty soapy from the jump, I think.
Yeah,
I think it's like the male fantasy soap opera.
It is, but it's like soapy in a good way until it's not.
Yeah.
And then it just has like this dark.
Just lean in, bro.
It has this turn where you're like, oh man, they should have like rapid fire just closed this.
I'm gonna get in on that.
Close this with a rip at 4 seasons, and now we're
get me some Yellowstone.
Well, and also White Lotus and Euphoria, those third seasons of each of those shows won't be out until 2025.
I started watching White Lotus. I watched the first 2 episodes.
Like it?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I feel like
first season's real good.
Jennifer Coolidge is great.
Jennifer Coolidge and Steve Zahn.
Steve Zahn's in that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Now I'm interested.
Yeah, it's good.
I love Jennifer Coolidge, but Steve Zahn is like, every time I see him in a movie, I go, golly, that dude's so impressive.
Makes me happy.
He's so impressive.
Steve Zahn makes me happy.
Good character actor.
And-
Down to earth.
And finally, last night, Rafe and I went down to the Dome at the America Center. I got to sit down with Robert Trujillo, talk all things St. Louis. I'm just going to play a snippet of the interview here. We're going to air the whole interview on Saturday and put it in a podcast later this weekend. But I got about 20 minutes with him, and I decided to take out this part because, he's worked with so many people, obviously in suicidal tendencies. He went on the road with Ozzy and Jerry Cantrell, and he was out with Black Label Society for some time. And so the fact that he is now hanging out with Zach Wilde again in a different capacity because he's, playing in Pantera. We talk all about what this means as far as touring nowadays with the history of hanging with his heroes.
All right, here is Lern with Robert Trujillo of Metallica.
When you think about, and you mentioned it, playing with your heroes and meeting your heroes, how crazy is it that Zach Wilde is on this tour with you as he is in the new version of Pantera? I mean, that has to be the most fun experience ever, given your history with Black Label Society, and now being able to have in 2023 just a new wave of touring with Zach.
Yeah, I mean, first things first, it's so cool to see Zach up there, playing up there with Phil and Charlie and, Rex. It's exciting. They sound so good. And Zach has just always been completely, passionate about not just his instrument, but about music in general. He was fun to tour with, but man, he was a handful. I tell you, that dude was wild. I tell him to his face, he was out of his mind. And we had good times. We had great times. And it's just amazing to see him up there playing songs that, his brother, his guitar soulmate, played, had that sort of connection together back on the Ozfests and all that stuff. Zach's really a great person, and it's just really fun to be around him again. We're all so busy during these shows and everything, but every time we cross paths, we end up hanging out for like a half hour or whatever. We're always late to the next interview we got to do, because we're catching up, and it was also a joy to play on Ozzy's recent record with Zach.
Yeah.
And to kind of have that moment with Ozzy and to share that with him as well. So Zach's back in my life.
That's cool.
Thank God. A healthier version of Zach, too, I might add. Yeah, it's great.
Well, in all the fans' minds, you guys are still, the debauchery is still happening. So don't ruin it for us.
Yeah. You know what? I got to tell you something. It still exists because, I would say spiritually, too, because there's this thing that happens when you've grown up playing with these guys and these people. It doesn't change, the way you communicate. The approach that you have to your instrument, to the shows, to the spirit of what we do, it's still full on, and I think that's one of the most incredible things about who we are and what we do right now at our age. It's still very important to us, and that I don't just mean that for myself. I mean that for Pantera. I mean that for Iron Maiden and AC/DC and all the bands that we've been able to share the stage with in the last month or so.
You bring up all of the bands that were on Power Trip Festival. That was the last show before this weekend in St. Louis.
Yeah.
You guys were taking in AC/DC returning to the stage, and I just wonder, did their performances specifically give you new energy for the rest of the M72 World Tour?
Yeah, we were there as fans. And then Sunday rolls around, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's right. We have to play a show, and we've got to follow that.
Right.
For me, it was incredible to be with my heroes. At one point, I got to take a photo, with Ian Hill and Steve Harris.
Amazing.
And I just think back to being a kid and listening to those bands, and never thought I'd see the day that I'd be able to actually, share the stage with them, let alone get a photograph with them. It was just one of those weekends where everybody was cool, everybody was humble, everybody was passionate about what they do and how they do it. Seeing Slash again, I haven't seen him in years, and Duff. This is the nicest guys. Nobody's heads have gotten exploded and gotten big or anything. Everybody's grounded, humble, and they just love music and love what they do. So it was a very powerful weekend. I was exhausted on that Monday when I got home. I was just like, what just happened? Because, there's a certain kind of emotional dynamic to it too that it drains you in a good way. It's just such a great experience. Like I said, we were there as fans. We saw every band. We couldn't see Tool because they were right before us, but we were out there for all the groups and just loving it. It was super cool.
You think Power Trip will do another festival?
I hope so. I obviously you saw the response to the shows and the bands and the energy. It's still relevant.
Yeah.
It still means a lot. The fans are there and they're going to show up. So hopefully Power Trip will stay the course.
I hope so. A lot of fans from St. Louis made the trek out to Indio because they just had to be there for the inaugural one. And yeah, metal definitely deserves its own festival on U.S. soil from that level. And I think that's incredible.
I mean, if you think about it, in Europe, you have festivals that are just huge, massive. And we should have that here in the U.S., I mean, there's so many great bands, in the U.S. too. A lot to choose from. People will show up. It's a good time.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, we are so happy that you came to St. Louis, that you put us on the world tour for M72. The new record kicks major ass. We're spinning it at the Point, spinning it on Monday Night Metal. And it has been a thrill of my life to get to meet you and sit here with you today and talk about your music history. Robert Trujillo of Metallica, the M72 World Tour, in town all weekend here in St. Louis. This is the Point.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
What a nice job.
Impressive.
Really, I was a total dweeb. I was nerding out.
That's awesome.
It was, thank you. Yeah.
So, and you'll hear the whole interview this weekend. Do we know what time?
No, not yet. I'm still doing some edits, and Donnie's got to schedule it. So we'll put it on the socials.
We'll put on the socials what time if you want to hear it live, but we'll podcast it as well.
Yeah, and it'll be a video as well.
It's 72 minutes. 72 minutes long. Right?
It's 72 minutes long. Exactly.
For 72 seasons.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Pantera tonight. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
And Metallica as well.
Celebrities celebrating her birthday today. Kendall Jenner is 28. Colin Kaepernick is 36. Dolph Lundgren, who I just saw in Creed 2, he's freaking awesome. That dude still rules. He's 66. Phil Simms is 68. Adam Ant is 69. Kathy Kinney, that's Mimi on the Drew Carey Show, is 69. Yeah. Dennis Miller is 70. Kate Capshaw, Steven Spielberg's wife. Pardon me. And on Grey's Anatomy, Temple of Doom, all that, she is 70. Roseanne Barr is 71. Larry Holmes, the heavyweight boxing champ from 78 to 85, is 74. Lulu, she sang To Sir With Love, and she married a Bee Gee, Maurice Gibbs, for 4 whole years. She is 75. Shadow Stevens, Hollywood Square announcer. And he is who helped.
Legendary.
Yeah, that is who helped Sammy Hagar create Cabo Wabo Radio, is 76. And Michael Dukakis lost the race because he decided to wear an army helmet.
And you ever see that picture? That lost him. That they said that could have lost him the presidential race.
It literally is quoted as, he lost the race for the White House because of he was photographed wearing a silly army helmet in a tank.
He looked like such a dork with an army helmet on in a tank.
Yeah,
and they said that lost the election.
Said, we can't vote for this dork. Michael Dukakis, that dork is 90 years old.
90.
Congratulations.
Wow. Michael Dorkakis.
Today's porno birthday, which is being brought to you by Patricia's, where fun and fantasy meet, is Buffy Davis. And today's birthday girl has been in 194 fine films, including 1001 Erotic Nights 2, Attack of the Monster Memories, Beyond the Casting Couch, Bitches in Heat 13 and 14, Caught from Behind 3, 4, and 5, in a movie called Cram Session, Daddy's Darling Daughters, In Search of the Wild Beaver, Rambone Does Hollywood, Thanks for the Memories, and who could forget a role in 1987's Genital Hospital. That is a classic. Buffy Davis is 57 years old. That's your porno birthday. Those are your crappy birthdays, and that was your crap on celebrities. Gravity Kills in the house. They're sitting in the kitchen.
Do they got the meats?
Coffee.
No meats.
Oh, man.
They didn't
Sorry, dude.
We can we really just wanted them, not the meats and the cheese.
I told them, you
Lock
sit
the
here
door.
and think about what you've done.
Yeah.
Yeah, lock the door.
No
Lock the door.
charcuterie
Pick another show.
on sandwich day. How embarrassing for you, Gravity Kills.
Well,
the
Gravity
cool dudes
Kills
are hanging out in the
will
kitchen.
forgive. They'll be in studio next. How about this? Gravity Kills in the studio. So everybody's got to get settled down here.
Settle down.
Everybody settle down.
We're reminiscing from the
you guys-
90s. We're going way back, talking
John
about all sorts
Feldman
of
stories.
mutual friends.
Oh, yeah. John is the lead singer, Goldfinger.
Yeah.
Just swapping stories from the road, huh,
Yeah,
fellas?
yeah. We're just going over
Road
old
stories?
times, man.
Yeah, more like Goldfinger playing at Mississippi Nights and John disappearing in the night, chasing down a stray dog.
Oh, to rescue him?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I was in the studio once working in this little guest house thing, and he popped in, and it started smelling really bad. And he goes, "Hey, don't use the bathroom today? We liberated some chickens, and they're in the bathroom." And I was like, "Liberated chickens?
Liberated chickens.
Like, not the first time I've heard that.
I'm from St. Louis. I'm not sure what that means, man."
Right, yeah. No, he's a great guy,
Well, welcome, fellas. Jeff, you get on the microphone over there.
Yeah, come on over.
We may have to Bon Jovi some microphones here.
I'll
like Richie
relinquish.
Sambora and Bon Jovi kind of sharing a microphone. I know we got the date wrong yesterday. Thought we'd have you in yesterday.
That's
What do you
okay.
mean- What do you mean we? They rock starred it. They're rock stars,
Rock
man.
stars.
I blame Jeff.
We play on no calendar.
I had receipts. I had text receipts.
See, that's what happens when we set stuff up with the boss.
But Tommy is the best. And
Yes,
so,
he is the best.
We wouldn't be sitting here without him begging you.
Nor would I, because he's my boss.
Right on.
And he has to approve my time, my paycheck every 2 weeks.
And Tommy sort of was one of the catalysts in us doing the show to begin with. We started talking amongst ourselves forever ago, and then Kurt and I were like, "Hey, we should do a show where our kids could see us do this." And Tommy's like, "Yeah, you guys should do that."
Well, let's talk about Gravity Kills and The Point. The history with the radio station and the band goes back to 1993, which is wild to even think about.
You know, and these guys would tell the story better. They were, you know, I was living in Dallas at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And
so, yeah, you guys had just announced that you were going to release Point Essential Volume 1, and Jeff had been on the Edge, Tales from the Edge in Dallas with his band.
So if people don't know, so Point Essential was like and we were talking about this.
Yeah,
Rafe, you don't know the story of this either. So the Point used to put out a CD every year that was just local bands. Right, it was called Point Essential, the best local bands. Mm-hmm. And people looked forward to hearing this and who was going to be on this thing every year.
Dude, me as a 13-year-old kid, 14-year-old kid getting an alternative and all that, was Point Essential. That was the curation of like, hey, this is who's working hard, who's doing some things, who you should be paying attention to. Mm-hmm. And it was the coolest, like, a compilation CD, a compilation type thing that you could get your hands on. And it really did start like a whole movement for a lot of local bands. A lot of kids like me were like, oh my God, you can do this, and you don't have to be some giant star, and you can get on
everybody
the
from
CDs
The Urge to Stir.
Yeah. I mean,
to Modern Day Zero to you guys.
It was
They
inspiring.
were all on Volume 1 with us, yeah. And so we had just moved, the three of us had played music together forever, moved to St. Louis. We knew the importance of it from Jeff being on it and Dallas on the Edge. And so we wrote a little song called Guilty.
What?
And then just to try to make the CD, we talked Jeff into flying up and cutting vocals for us. Our hope initially is if we can make the CD, maybe people hear that we're pretty good and we can find a local singer. And then, of course, the rest is history. Guilty took off, and Jeff's like, I think I'm flying up on the weekends to cut vocals. And then
we did a record, and then we just started doing a record. And then by Point Essential comes out, it was December 94 when it was released. By the end of February, I was already having record labels flying me to St. Louis for us to meet.
And you guys hadn't even played a show together?
No.
That's right.
So Guilty, the song Guilty, which, I mean, when you think of, 90s music, Guilty's one of the top songs of the 90s. You guys hadn't even played a show together.
No. In the first year that we cut Guilty late September of 94. By late September 95, we're on the Mortal Kombat soundtrack.
Yeah.
We're on the 7 soundtrack. We're finishing our first record, but haven't signed our record deal yet. We have a manager, but we haven't signed a management deal yet.
And our attorney says, I like the way you boys work.
we had an attorney. That's all we actually
TBT had given us a bunch of money. We hadn't signed anything with him.
Yeah, we hadn't signed anything. In fact, and then I ceremoniously, I remember, we talk, people talk about signing the record deals, and it's like a big deal, and you think there's going to be champagne and everything.
Yeah.
I was sitting at Doug's dining room table in my underwear, and it was coming up on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
In 1995, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you got to sign the record deal." And I sat there in my underwear. It was like there was no party.
So 28 years ago this month, you're in your underwear at Doug's dining room table,
signing a record deal.
Why were you in your underwear? I don't remember.
Because I had just woken up.
sleeping on your couch.
I was sleeping on his couch.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I would come up and sleep on his couch, and because the studio was at his house, and so we would
go out and dig out change out underneath my car seat to go to McDonald's.
Oh, we were broke, man.
So Halloween, this is a great one. We're recording that record. No, we have no clue what day it is. With like the Les Claypool line. Weekends don't mean as much when you're unemployed. You get to hang out with your working friends more.
Yeah.
So we're like recording, and all of a sudden, like somebody started knocking on the door. We open it up, and these kids are like, trick or treat, and we're like, it's Halloween. And he runs over to his pantry and gets out a can of SpaghettiOs and dumps it in this kid's like a pumpkin. And next thing we know is like there's like a line off his porch of kids like waiting for their can of SpaghettiOs.
That's funny. That's funny. So, wow, who was giving you guys advice? So you got record labels coming at you. You got a lawyer. You're trying to navigate this record business.
There's this book called This Business of Music. It was about 3 inches thick. It was the first book I ever read, and probably about the last book I ever read. And we just studied that book, or like every iteration of it, and just educated ourselves as much as we could going into it, so we didn't get screwed too bad.
Right. And then, so you signed with TVT. Who's on the label at that time? 9 Inch Nails?
Nails was it was by then Interscope and TVT had created nothing.
Right. Okay.
By then, but TVT still owned half of it. I think he ended up selling that half for like $30 million or something like that to Jimmy Iovine. But so he's on it, and really nobody else. We preceded Seven Dust
was coming up
by just by a year or two.
Yeah, Seven Dust kind of broke 98. Right?
Yeah.
1998,
Yeah. We first heard them. We were in and we got a radio guy, John Perone, I think, is out there listening right now. One of those guys. We were actually with a counterpart of it. We were the first time we ever heard Seven Dust. We were in Portland, Oregon, and we may have been out on the Sex Pistols tour. And we were in the back of a car, and they were called Crawl Space at the time. And then I guess there was another Crawl Space, so they had to change their name.
Was there the stereotypical, record label guy going, "We're gonna make you a star. We're gonna make you guys. Everybody's gonna know the name Gravity Kills."
Kurt and I were talking about that. Every label told us you'll never be on the radio.
Oh, okay.
You'll never be on
Part your
MTV.
music.
You're gonna tour forever in a van.
Did they want to change your sound?
No.
Well, so there was about 7 labels that flew to town. Well, for instance, we didn't know, at the time, Guilty blew up. I came home from work one day, and
what were you doing?
I'm an architect, and
Right.
by the way, I built your old studios down behind Union
Oh, you did?
Station. Yeah. And so I came home from work that one day, and I hit play on my answering machine. It was like, "Hi, this is Tim Devine from Capitol Records. Hi, this is
Craig Kalman he was Atlantic, yeah.
and
So you had all
Randy
these?
Jackson from Columbia.
Randy Jackson,
Yeah,
American Idol Randy Jackson?
Yeah, whatever. And these guys all flew to town, and half of them would be like, we're like, well, what do you guys think we should do? What's your advice? And I remember Randy Jackson going, you guys should all move to Los Angeles and just live in a house together. And we're like, yeah, I don't think that's happening. And but Tommy Serig is who flew in from TVT, and he was the one that got it. He just got it. They had all the wax tracks catalog TVT did at the time, and he understood that catalog. He understood what we were doing, and I think that we went with him just because he was the only one that really spoke our language.
Well, we hadn't played out live, and that's what kind of freaked out the other labels when Capitol Records came in, because we played them our music, and they were like, okay, and they're like, when do you guys, when can we see you? And we're like, well, you don't.
You're seeing us.
Yeah.
So,
and they would go,
and this is all happening without even playing one show?
We didn't play a show. We didn't play a show. We did Guilty September of '95, played our first show at a place called The Other World. It was November 4th. It'll be 28 years ago tomorrow.
But it's important.
Off of Wash Avenue.
Yeah, Washington Avenue.
Wild.
And we played for 1,000 people. Nobody knew what we looked like except our relatives. We had 900 paid and 100 on the list. And
We had played a gazillion shows together, and his bands had played a gazillion shows together, but us combined on stage, first time.
Wow.
it was crazy and super crazy. And true story, the Tommy Serig story. He came into town, and these guys aren't sure, and A&R guys they're kind of they're superstitious, I think.
A&R guys, if people don't know, they're the guys that go out and find the bands, and then they recommend to their bosses, like, hey, we need to sign these guys, and they kind of take you under their wing and mold you, right?
Yeah. And then so this guy flies into town, and he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go. He's getting in his rental car to go back to his hotel, and he turns on the radio, and he'd been listening to The Point, and Guilty was playing on the radio.
Serendipitous.
And he just puts his head down, and he gets the window down, and he says, "You'll have paper on Monday."
Wow.
Dang.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Turned it up and ripped off the knob.
I mean, that's a movie.
Thing. And again,
That's script-like.
with The Point. The Point is what tipped. We weren't a band without The Point, and then The Point's the one. If they weren't playing the song at the time, who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe we. Who knows, right? So
Who knows?
If we can
But
go
here
back
we
to
are.
Guilty, the story's a lot more harrowing. There's a huge portion of that. The Point had put out an all call in May saying, bands of St. Louis, send in your demo or send in your songs for Point Essential. What's going to be Point Essential Volume 1? So Kurt and Matt and I, we're like, we should do something. We should do something. Yeah, we should do something. And the summer's going by, and it's due in September. So June goes by. We should do something. Yeah, we should do something. July, August. We get to be, it's due on Friday. The weekend before that, we're like, we should do something. We should do something. We didn't even do that weekend. Literally the Monday before the Friday it was due, we had a little piece of music that kind of just went unsa, 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 chicka, 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 unsa, unsa. So Matt comes in. Matt's an industrial engineer. He comes in on Monday. I worked at a post-production facility. He comes in at lunchtime, throws his tie over his shoulder.
Coat and tie.
Guitar. And he starts cutting the guitar parts for what became Guilty. And I'm editing. I took the week off from my boss.
This is one of the biggest songs of the 90s, by the way, put together in less than a week.
Oh, this gets insane. So then on Tuesday...
Buckle up.
So I'm editing and I get a week off from my boss. I'm like, hey, we're not doing any voiceovers this week. Can I just work on the song? He's like, sure, why not? All right. So... Editing, doing all this stuff. Kurt comes in, he works on it. We get to Wednesday, and it's just an instrumental. And I'm like, I think we could turn it in as an instrumental, but it's not going to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And we don't have a singer. We called up all of our old singers. We're like, we got this piece of music. And they're like, nah, dude.
I said to Kurt, the best singer we know is your cousin Jeff. Why don't you give him a call?
This is on Wednesday. We should have given Jeff a call. Because we're like, what are
500 miles away?
Do you remember who you called?
The other singers.
Yeah, the
other singers.
Well,
the guy's not in the studio with you right now.
Martin and
Rick, who sang with what then later became Stir.
Okay.
Yeah. Just
some of our old singers when we were a cover band, and nobody. They were like, no. So we get to Wednesday, and it's like we should have called Jeff. And Matt goes, "I'll pay for half the ticket."
If we can get Jeff up here.
And I'm just like, oh, my God, you guys, no way. So they call up Jeff, and they say, so we have this song that's due on Friday. Can we fly you up tomorrow on Thursday and cut these vocals? So Jeff worked at Fox Photos.
Well, it wasn't a Fox photo. It was a place like that. It was a place like that.
So he goes, so Jeff's like, oh, my God. It's like, we're turning in this song to this compilation, but with the point. So he calls back. He goes, okay, my boss says I have to work all day Thursday, but he'll drive me to the airport, and I'll take a puddle jumper all the way up to St. Louis, and he lands at but I have to be back at work first thing Friday morning. Yeah. So Jeff flies up, literally lands at 9:30, gets off the airplane. They give him, Kurt picks him up, gets him some Taco Bell real quick. He walks into the studio, maybe 10:30. Bam, let's hear the song. What's going on? He gets in the booth, kind of scats up. You
didn't have lyrics yet?
No
lyrics. He just kind of scats it.
And Matt says, it sounds like you're saying, I'm guilty. We're like, okay, bing, bing, bing.
I put it on a DAT. I sent him to another studio. You guys listen, go write some vocals. And so they're sitting around.
And by the way, a DAT, if people don't know, little bitty
digital audio tape. Yeah. So.
I'm like, I'm busy. I'm editing guitars and stuff. You guys go write some vocals. So about midnight, he walks in. He's like, I got vocals. Let's start cutting. Because you guys were like, it sounds like, because when you do a scat vocal, it kind of sounds like you're saying words, and they're sitting around with like legal pads going. And it's funny because, you try to read all of this, it was like 1 and 1 and 1 makes 3, 1 and 1, why don't you see? Well, that rhymes. Good. Okay, right. Put it down.
Oh, yeah, the worst lyrics ever. And
and so he walks in and he just cuts the vocals until about 1:30. He's like, I got to get up, 6:30 a.m. flight. Got to take the puddle jumper back to
Dallas.
And then
we go back, sleep like 2 hours. I get up, I take him to the airport. I come back, and then my now wife, then girlfriend, Bonnie, looks at me and she's like, "Well, how'd the song turn out?" And I said, "I think it's pretty good." And she goes, "Well, what are the lyrics?" And I'm like, "Hey, I'm guilty, and you're guilty too." And she goes, "What?" And then I went up to the office and I played it for a bunch of my friends, and they were in the car, literally like having like seizures,
spasms.
Go, this is so good. And I'm like, okay.
Well, we turned it in at 5:30. I slept on the floor in the studio for a couple hours. Got up, kept editing, mixing. We turned it in at 5:30, and it's so uneventful because you walk in the station, and the lady's sitting at the front desk, and you're like, "Hi, we're turning in a song."
We're a local band.
Central local band. I give her this little DAT tape, and she's like, "Okay, thank you." And she just puts
it down. Put it on the
standing
pile.
there, like, well, goodbye.
Yeah. And apparently, it was the song was kind of a lightning rod at the station. I mean, there were people that were totally into it, and then there were people that just
were
hated
not into it,
which is kind of the way we roll here in St. Louis, I think.
That's kind of what
we
you
have
want.
to mention Alex, Luke, and Jim McGuire.
Yeah, they're two guys that were at the station at the time, and then
Gravity Kills one out, and Guilty was on the playlist for a long time, and the Point played the crap out of it.
Yeah, we had turned it in. It was such a whirlwind week that then you just forgot about it. You were like kind of done with it. And we put it away September, October, November. Didn't really talk about it. And then Kirk was kind of like, I'm getting weird reactions from people. I'm playing it for people and they're kind of freaking out. I'm like, really? I don't even know. So in December rolls around, and that's when the on air, and they're like, we're going to announce all the bands. And it was that long. I mean, we just kind of forgot about it for 4 months.
And that's when I came up for the release party at Mississippi Nights. And then we cut the track that's on the Mortal Kombat soundtrack that weekend. And we did a song called Inside, which we'll...
Yeah, when the label started showing up, we only had 3 songs and it never played out live. Because we were like, when we made the compilation, because then they were like, and started charting. They had charts back then. Top 25 countdown.
Record, R&R magazine and all that stuff.
Yeah, so it starts climbing the charts. It's like, you guys are at number 19 this week, and we're like,
Yeah,
and
just kind of a whirlwind.
And in 1914, we got up to number 2, and that's when the label started calling because they're reading the trade magazines, and they're calling the station going, who is Gravity Kills, and why are they, at number 6 this week? And they're like, it's this local band. So they're putting 2 and 2 together, and they're extrapolating. They're like, if they're charting top 10 in a number 19 market, what can they do in the nationally? And so that's easy math.
Yeah.
So that's when we were like, oops, I guess we're a band now.
You weren't
like,
even
we got to
really
do
a
this.
band.
No, we weren't really thinking about that at that point. And then we got on the compilation and all the stuff started happening. It's like, we're going to be a band. Because then we thought, we thought there might be a slight revolt at that point, and there kind of was anyway, to a certain degree in town, who are these guys? And
you felt guilty.
Yeah, and then right, but then you become friends with the whole community there. Hang out with.
Was there jealousy in the local scene?
I think at first, I don't know if there was jealousy in the local scene. I think
there was I think the conflict was like there was Spotlight Magazine and Riverfront Times, and then there were their bands, and then there was the bands that The Point was promoting.
Yeah,
and it really felt like a lot of those magazines at the time just felt like, hey, wait a minute, like The Point started dictating the course of the local music scene. With those compilations.
Well, and The Point was new. We played the first birthday show at the Galaxy.
Huh. There was also that perception that we had just come together like an American Idol type thing.
Yeah.
And
before
people,
American Idol.
People didn't realize that Kurt and I have played in bands together. Well, we've known each other since 2nd grade.
Been 40 years
And we
now.
were neighbors, and we played in bands together since we were 15, 16 years old. And then in some versions of those bands,
I was around.
Doug and I were on the same Little League team together, right? Then he played in bands. All this time, Jeff had various bands going, and we always looked up to Jeff.
And
Kurt and I are cousins.
And so we looked up to Jeff, who even was teaching us things about songwriting. And so we've been in and out of studios, recording studios. We did the hard road just like everybody else.
Yeah, and it's always like that. That's the story with so many people. Everybody's like, oh, how's it feel to be an overnight success? You're like, man.
It wasn't overnight.
It's a Beatles. Long night. It's a Beatles playing in Germany for years and years and years.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
there's so many different skill sets honed apart and together. There's no such thing as an overnight success.
To chime in on the new Beatles track that you played this morning, I hear Jeffrey Lern in that track.
Really?
Yeah, because if Harrison did, if Harrison was working with he worked with Jeff Lynne probably on the record that when he cut those guitars, he may have been working with Jeffrey Lynne.
Yeah. And that's ELO's singer.
What's going around, and we didn't even talk about it today, but I'm interested in your guys' take on this because, we're all similar age musicians, have been doing this for a long time. There's a lot of talk right now, and people are talking about John Lennon's vocals, and they're throwing around just the isolated track, the ISO track of his vocal. How do you guys feel about that? I feel like that's sacrilegious. The guy's not around to say, like, hey, it's okay for you to look at one paint of this painting, one brushstroke of this painting. What do you guys feel like if somebody were to take your vocal tracks and put them out there and be like, yo, check out these, just the vocal only, the isolated vocal tracks from Gravity Kills. How do you feel about that?
Boy.
I feel really weird about it.
As a vocalist, it's very uncomfortable anyway. If you've ever, you guys listen to your own voice every morning is weird, right?
Yeah.
And so, but at the same time, somebody like John Lennon or the Beatles.
At the same time, it's Paul McCartney going, okay.
Yeah, and and the music at some point doesn't belong to you anymore. I think is when you're a Beatle. or you're talking about Aerosmith this morning. I think at some point, you're just as the voice, you're just the vehicle at that point. It belongs to kind of the ownership of that evolves into something else, I think.
Well, I've never heard an isolated vocal that wasn't impressive, especially from back then. You had to sing, and you'll hear like David Lee Roth isolated vocals without auto-tune or anything, and you're like, and it's always impressive. Like, nobody's listening to isolated vocals cutting it down.
I heard Bohemian Rhapsody. Freddie Mercury's isolated vocal for that is just
I bet it's
incredible.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and how he multi-tracked. They didn't have that many, you were lucky to lock two 24-track tape machines together, but they just layered and layered. And your bouncing tracks, you're taking one track and laying it on top of another, which makes it permanent, and then taking another one because
it's sound on sound.
Right, and they're stacking, and it's very nerve-wracking. But you're trying to make this kind of like.
I think to answer your question, I think in that case, like, given that Paul McCartney's there, and given that he's not like he's not desperate by any means, I think that he's a good shepherd for that. But I mean, I definitely think
I do
that
too.
in some cases it would be it's unnerving to think
I just feel I think it's weird. I don't think like in the movie business you could like get a director to be like, oh, let's just show you one cut of one thing before anything else is done. Like it's a full blown painting, and I'm singing a different approach depending on the song. I'm not singing to be isolated and impress you or any of that kind of stuff. I'm singing to serve the song, and that's the single piece of art that I've chosen to release. And it's weird when somebody like decides that you can just break that down and then make it, its own standing thing.
That is a teaching tool. I mean, that's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah,
coming from the
professional to professional,
recording
for sure.
side of things, that's, you can put it in front of a new generation and let them, you know what I mean? Maybe there's people that they can get, have a takeaway from it by listening to it isolated, or even now remixing with it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hey,
I'm just always curious on what other musicians
Speaking
think.
of songs, we got guitars out. Gravity Kills us here. Should we do a song?
We're going to do something we've never, ever, ever done.
This is first?
Well,
you want to do it with this?
Yeah, let's do it.
This could be a bit tongue in cheek.
What are we doing?
Well,
Uh-oh.
Well,
Okay,
it's
so-
we've done stuff in studio before,
Dude,
but we've never ever as a band done Guilty before, and we're breaking out a little Casio drum
Oh,
machine.
this is amazing. This is exciting.
And
This
we
thing is
worked it up.
cool.
well, but we're trying to kind of like,
Should we take a break? Do you want to do? Should we take a break? And then we'll...
maybe we can tune up.
Okay, let's take a
Make sure
break.
we're here.
We'll take a break. Gravity Kills is in the studio. And by the way, Gravity Kills is at the pageant next Saturday the 11th.
Whoa, dude, we just
man.
time traveled. That's crazy, bro.
We're gonna tune up. We're gonna tune our instruments. We're gonna take a break. We'll come back, and Gravity Kills will play a song or two for us.
The Rizzuto Show, right here on 105.7 The Point. Do you get it?
All right, welcome back to the Rizz Show. Gravity Kills in studio. Big show coming up next Saturday, the 11th, over at the pageant. Some tickets remain. It's going to sell out. We're looking at a sellout, guys. Just get your tickets while you can. It's going to be crazy.
It is.
We're going to get crazy in here in just a
We
second.
are.
More crazy than you know.
You guys are going to play Guilty.
We are.
And Doug's got this weird homemade machine, which... What the hell?
It's a cigar box amp that my friend Craig Wagner made for me years
think
ago.
Hey, shout out to Craig. by the
Awesome
way.
work.
Shout out to Craig Wagner.
Well, we're gonna try something. The guys, Jeff was like, "Do you have a Casio?" And I said, "I do have a Casio." And he said, "Bring it because we can use it for to do the drums." And I thought, it's a little clean sounding. I don't want to sound like Trio. I love Trio, but it's like let's kind of like grimy it up a little bit. So I brought this little
grimy it up,
amp.
guys.
And we're gonna
Get
try
dirty.
to dirty it up a little bit.
Let's get filthy.
Right.
All right.
Let's get
And
filthy.
which was the working title of the song
Let's get
at
filthy.
one point?
And you're filthy too.
And you're filthy. Hey, I'm filthy. And now we were talking before you guys went on air with us. Is this a reunion show? What are we calling this?
Yeah, it's a reunion show. Some of us are calling it a redemption show.
Yeah.
And
Well, it was supposed to be the 25-year anniversary, but then
then people.
COVID happened,
Yeah.
so it got put off. We
Oh,
started
that
talking about
and
this
then-
4 years ago.
Yeah, and then our record label came to us and were like, "Do you want to release this record on vinyl for the first time?" And we were like, "Sure," because back then it was just CDs and
Yeah,
cassettes,
yeah.
and then and there's a whole long story we won't bore you with on buying multiple old Mac computers.
Thank you, Kurt.
Build one that worked, and we got all the tracks off. We were able to remaster it and get the record made, and
So now it's out on vinyl.
Yeah.
and
Second
the
pressing.
first pressing sold out the same day it went on sale, and we re-entered the Billboard Top 200 for a week, and then dropped back out while they printed up more. So
That's pretty awesome
but
to go
the second
back onto the
pressing's
charts.
available now. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Let's. All right, Moon. Do you want to come back here? I get nervous.
No, man, I think you're good. I think
Oh,
we're
come
good.
on, man. All right, fine.
What do you mean?
No,
You can
I'm
mix us.
gonna try to mix. I'm gonna try to mix.
Gonna do it.
Well, I mean, I got a musician to my left. Okay, you tell me if I got to boost anybody.
I play. I don't mix.
I don't mix either.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Nor
You're-
do I play.
You're fine, man.
Okay.
No, I saw
got
you
this.
play.
You're
I
good at
saw.
this.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, he
saw.
was ripping
I
with
know.
the
I
bags.
saw.
In my bunny costume.
That's right. I watched.
Ripping it indeed. All right.
Mike McCready in over there.
Here's Gravity Kills, ladies and gentlemen, live on the Rizz Show. 1, 2.
Behind closed doors, your words ring hollow. What you said they'd be. What behavior? Who are you? But I like it. Now I'm done with nothing new. Sometimes green, sometimes blue. And I'm guilty. And I'm guilty. And I'm guilty. And I'm guilty. And you're guilty too. Hey, 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 I'm guilty. And you're guilty too. Hey, 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 hey. I'll tell you something new. You're hearing nothing true. You're killing me, I'm killing you. And I'm guilty too. One, two, three, I found you out so easily. 1, 2, 3, I found in you what I found in me. The time is wrong, the time is right. Be careful who you kill tonight. And I'm melting, and I'm melting, and I'm melting, and I'm melting, and melting in you. Hey, 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 I'm guilty, and you're guilty too. Hey, 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 hey. 1 and 1 and 1 makes 3. 1 and 1, why don't you see? I'm killing you, you're killing me. Can't you set me free? 8 in the morning is hard. Inside out, I can't describe it. What you do to me. Inside out, I cannot hide it. Looking right through me. Now I've reached the living end. Pointing fingers to defend. I'm guilty, and I'm guilty, and I'm guilty, and I'm guilty. And you're guilty too. Hey, 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 I'm guilty. And you're guilty too. Hey, 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 hey. I'll tell you something new. You're hearing nothing true. You're killing me, I'm killing you. And I'm guilty too.
Oh, man.
Yo. what are you playing? He's got like this cigar box drum machine and like an Atari controller over there making the coolest sound.
That was awesome.
I've ever heard in an acoustic performance. That was
You guys
great.
sounded great. Awesome.
A little rusty this morning. But
It is hard to sing at 8 a.m.
Plugged in band. Like back in the day when everybody was doing like MTV Unplugged and stuff, I'm like, I don't even know how we would do that.
You did it.
Yeah.
You did it. You pulled it off. Can you guys do one more?
oh gosh.
Or we'll save it. We can save it for next Saturday. Oh yes.
You want to do that?
Can you do it?
I
don't mean to put you on the spot,
All right.
but I was kind of hoping
We'll
for a
just
little
jump
personal.
into
They're
it.
packing up.
The E and we'll go.
Packing up.
Just
We're not
follow
done
along.
yet, guys.
No. Okay.
Jeff, you're warmed up now. Let's go. Let's go.
Watch Jeff for the changes.
Yeah, just watch me for the.
Gravity kills.
Ready? All right, we're going. Reach out and touch faith. Reach out, touch faith.
All right. I know I put you on the spot, but
There we go.
you're in my house.
Short version.
Guys, thank you so much for coming in. Good luck next week. Gravity Kills at the pageant. Not a reunion show, a
Redemption show.
But what are we being redeemed from?
Oh,
Being gone for 12 years.
There you go. That makes sense. And now on vinyl.
and now
Yes,
vinyl.
on vinyl.
Now on vinyl. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll take a break. We'll come back with Rafe's E Memoriam. The Gravity Kills performance. Everybody's transported back to the 90s, especially here in Guilty. What a great tune. And just nice guys, too.
Yeah, super nice guys, man. It's weird. We have so many mutual friends and like all of our circles overlap, and I've only kind of run into those guys in very, very small passing. But such nice gents.
Well,
Nice
even here
dudes.
here in Guilty, I don't know how many times I've played it on a radio, but
I know,
even
man.
I mean, that song came out in 95, 96.
I told you, I wore down that.
It's my youth.
I wore down that Mortal Kombat soundtrack because of their song.
So cool. Well, anyway, see him at the pageant next Saturday, the 11th. Some tickets remain. It's going to sell out, so get them while you can. Let's sell that puppy out. Rafe,
Sell it out.
are you ready for your weekly segment?
I think
Called
so.
Rafe Williams. Rafe Williams.
That's the Rizz Show.
Well,
E Memoriam.
Rizzo
Presented by
Rafe Williams.
the Earl of Sandwiches. Rafe Dean Williams.
Let's get to it.
For those of you that don't know, I'm tired of explaining it. You should know by now.
Listen, Bob Barker explains Plinko every time.
You're right. The E Memoriam is for those we lost this week via email, messages, general complaining tweets, or just whatever other mode of transportation you could get a message to us telling you that you disagreed with us or hated us about something that we said. But in the style of the Oscars in memoriam, we want to say goodbye to those we lost this week on the Rizz Show. And our E Memoriam is brought to you by Hughes Funeral Alternatives. Discover Aquamation, the natural, gentle, eco-friendly alternative to fire-based cremation. And speaking of fire-based cremation, let's roast some people.
Let's do it.
First up this week, adult trick-or-treaters. All right, adult trick-or-treaters, it's time to trade in your candy buckets for a dose of reality. If you can balance a checkbook, navigate a wine list, or know the difference between a 401k and a Roth IRA, guess what? You're too old to be ringing doorbells asking for bite-sized Snickers. We know Halloween is the one night you get to live out your Peter Pan fantasy, dressing up as a sexy cat or whatever version of the Joker you imagine yourself as in your head while you drive your forklift all day down at the plant. It's a little bit of a slap in the face, though, when you're almost 20 years old and dressed like a pirate Captain Jack Sparrow of the Black Pearl going for a second score at the Peterson house. Meanwhile, when your grandfather was your age, he was dressed as Petty Officer First Class of the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower doing his second tour in the Persian Gulf. Trick-or-treating's like Snapchat, guys, primarily for kids, and if you're over 30 and still heavily involved, it's a little questionable. When you're old enough to have a reverse mortgage, maybe it's time to hang up the broomstick, Dracula. So, if our stance has curdled your candy corn, feel free to stomp off in your oversized clown shoes. Just remember, the only real treat you'll be getting is lower back pain the next day and plantar fasciitis because you're 75 years old. Bye-bye. Next up, people who bring sex toys to vacation rentals. Wow. Didn't realize there were so many of you out there this week when we roasted somebody who emailed in that they left their sex toys behind at a VRBO they rented. Let's talk about these adventurous souls who think an Airbnb doubles as a pleasure palace. If your idea of a weekend getaway includes packing more batteries than a Best Buy checkout line, you might be taking relaxation a bit too far. Remember, an Airbnb isn't air balls and bondage, it's a rental. Not a risque retreat.
Air balls and bondage.
Although I think that app would take off. If the most memorable thing you leave behind is a collection of your butt plugs and nipple clamps in the dishwasher, you're doing vacations wrong. Seriously, if your suitcase rattles more than an Oklahoma rattlesnake roundup, it's time to rethink your packing list. A friendly reminder, VRBO is vacation rental by owner, not vagina, rectum, balls, and oral. So to those who turned a cozy cottage into an adults-only showroom, your overzealous escapades have been officially checked out. Consider this your turn-down service at Hotel Rizz. You gone. Next up, Crazy Ashleys. Yikes. Got a lot of emails from Ashleys when Moon said all Ashleys were crazy, and we all agreed.
I said almost.
He said all.
I said almost.
Roll the tape. Time to bid a bittersweet farewell to all the Ashleys out there after we casually mentioned that all Ashleys are a little loco. Look, we know not every Ashley is hoisting their own mad tea party, but you got to admit the name does seem to come with a pinch of wild-eyed spice. Ashleys, you've got the kind of energy that turns a simple brunch into a reality show pilot. If your name's Ashley, chances are your life's a roller coaster that even a methed-out carny might say, I don't know, man, seems kind of dangerous to me.
This goes for guys and gals named Ashley, by the way.
No, just girls.
Oh.
You know a guy named Ashley?
I know two guys named Ashley.
And they're crazy too?
One of them's certifiably, yeah.
All right, you're in. Ashley Ben, you're in.
Lump them in.
We're not saying all Ashleys are crazy. We're just suggesting that if you're at brunch and you see a table flipped over, chances are an Ashley was involved. We would like to say goodbye to Ashley, but we know we can't because you'll be hiding in the bushes outside our house later to keep an eye on us and see if any bitches is trying to get a booty call from your ex-favorite show. So bye-bye till we see you tonight in a ghillie suit. Which brings us to our next in memoriam non-crazily Ashley. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a rare moment here, an apology to the two Ashleys out there who, against all odds, aren't walking around as a tornado of unbridled insanity. That's right, in a sea of Ashleys, you two are like finding a needle in a haystack or a chill moment in a soap opera. To Ashley Judd and Ashley Furniture. The unsung heroes of normalcy in the Ashleyverse. We're sorry for lumping you in with the chaos crew. You're like unicorns galloping through a field of four-leaf clovers. Or a quiet day on Twitter. Basically, you're a miracle. One of you comes from a pedigree of contemporary country music royalty and will always be in our hearts as the beloved mother from Simon Birch. And the other has a pedigree of affordable contemporary furniture made by cheap plywood birch. So here's to you, the two Ashleys holding down the fort of sanity. You're as rare as Bigfoot in a selfie and as surprising as a calm family dinner at the Kardashians. Keep on proving that not all Ashleys are a headline in the drama news, and you're the plot twist nobody saw coming. Next up, this one hurts. George Zamfir. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to blow the dust off of our apology pan flute and play a tune for George Zamfir, the quintessential, cue the music, unchallenged sultan of the pipes, the Chuck Norris of wind instruments, quietly waiting to roundhouse kick us into musical enlightenment and turning bamboo tubes into weapons of mass seduction.
Here comes.
We're sorry, George, for not recognizing the sheer earth-shattering excitement that is pan flute music. Ooh, to George, the man who could probably play a killer solo on a set of PVC pipes from Home Depot, we deeply regret underestimating the power of your flute and for misidentifying you as Yanni. It's like we were tone deaf to the siren song of your reeds and denying your very existence. You're not just playing music, George. You're orchestrating the winds, commanding the very air to dance. Birds stop flying. The wind holds its breath, and even the tides take a moment to listen. It's like Mother Nature herself was leaning in and saying, whoa, is that George on the reeds? Because I'm 70% water, and I just got wetter somehow. Our deepest apologies to not seeing it sooner. You, sir, are the Mozart of the marshlands, the Beethoven of the breeze, the David Lee Roth of Van Halen.
Ah, yes.
So keep on fluting, George, and forgive us for not getting in on the pan wagon sooner. It's clearly where the party's at. He just hit repeat on that.
Just hit the solos here, baby.
Thank you.
All right, keep that solo going for the non-pan flutist and misidentified Yanni. Next up. Yanni, forgive us, for we knew not of the main that launched 1,000 wind machines. As we played the silent keys of tribute, let's all pretend for a moment we're swaying at his concert, lost in a sea of high-waisted jeans and perms, marveling at the man, the myth, the mustache, Yanni. Before Yoni beer was brewed from pulling vagina yeast, Yanni's beard was a dude pulling vagina least. We recently found ourselves in a Yanni-less void where whispers of, who's Yanni? Who's Yanni? She said. She smiled. In her special way, thank you, El DeBarge. Yanni the maestro, who looks like he walked out of a romance novel to seduce your eardrums with a whale song and keyboard medley, somehow slipped past our radar. Imagine a world where his flowing hair and passionate piano pounding were reduced to background music at the dentist's office. It's like we missed the ferry to the island of soothing sounds, and for that, we're about as remorseful as a cat napping in a sunbeam. We might not have known the man, but we certainly know the elevator music, and for that, Yanni, we nod in respect. Now, if you'll excuse us, we have some essential oil diffusers and wind chimes to hang as penance. And finally, last up on this week's In Memoriam, babies.
Oh.
For making fun of their food. We played a little game where I spoon-fed baby Moon and baby Lern some baby food, and it was freaking gross. And we angered the sippy cup connoisseurs who can't handle a roast without crying over spilled milk. You might not have teeth, but you sure have a bite when it comes to your criticism. How the hell did a baby get a goddamn Gmail account to begin with? I have no freaking clue. So here's your not-so-gentle pat on the back. Mama's teat baby want uppies69 at gmail.com. We've ruffled the bibs of your toothless wonders when we mocked your spoon-fed feast, your gourmet Gerber, your Michelin-starred mashes, and we stand by it. To the tots who took offense, your pureed peas and carrots may be haute cuisine in the high chair, but to us it's glop of the uninitiated gourmand. Let's be clear, your culinary delights are about as sophisticated as your table manners. Whoo, sick burn, non-existent. So grow a molar and maybe we'll talk.
Aw.
Until then, keep squishing you're on my side, remember.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Until then, keep squishing your peas and flooding your high chairs with drool, you widow babies. And we'll continue to salute the true heroes, the parents who pretend that airplane spoon is soaring through turbulence with cargo of edible joy when it's really a pile of dog crap. So to the diaper diners, the weaning gourmets, the babes who think a silver spoon is just another teething toy. We'll see you at the kids' table. Get the hell out of here.
Damn.
Savage.
Savage! Did he just take on babies? And now to the real RIPs, and we had a lot of them this week, so I'll get through them quick. Matthew Perry. We lost our first friend. That sucked. Richard Mull from Night Court.
Oh, yeah.
The king of the one-liner. Okay. He was abducted by aliens at the end of Night Court. He went to see the Lord. Bobby Knight. He's up there throwing chairs in heaven and choking an angel right now. We'll miss you, Bobby. And a guy from General Hospital whose name I forgot to write down.
Oh.
Yes. Who was married to Eva Longoria.
He was married to Eva Longoria, and that's all you really need to know. He also passed away. And that concludes this week's In Memoriam, brought to you by Hughes Funeral Alternatives. Give me them pan flute pipes, baby.
Thank you, Rafe. Excellent, excellent job.
Here, you want to play this
I
for
want
me?
Lamar.
Here. Okay.
It's a banger.
No, keep it up. Yeah.
Let it ride into the hook, dude. Let it ride into the hook.
Traffic is brought to you by Worldwide Technology Raceway. The biggest race of 2024 is Sunday, June 2nd. It's time to lock in your NASCAR Cup Series tickets now at www.raceway.com. Lane blocked due to a crash 64 westbound at Bellevue, Big Bend. Your point forecast today is breezy with a high of 66. Right now it's 46 at the Point Studio, and your point forecast is brought to you by Car and Tire and Auto.
Thank you, Moon.
Honestly, nothing would make a 10-car pileup seem more palatable than this wind chime music. Maybe we should keep this.
Hey, we'll take a break.
Shall we drive a little slower and safer?
We're going to come back and close the show out with your Friday Fail stories.
All right.
Dude, this slaps.
This rips.
All right, stay there. All right, folks, time for your Friday Fail story.
Yes.
So all these people thought they had a perfect plan, but man, somewhere along the line, that perfect plan went completely sideways. Oh, and it became an Uber, an ultra, dare I say it? Oh, I'm going to say it. I'm saying it. Mega. Here we go.
Failed.
Wow, man.
You sounded great, Bob.
Jeez. Lern, that was from your soul.
Yeah, dude, you came in hot. Zamfir joined for a second. That was
If only
crazy.
we had a flute.
Friday Fail Stories are sponsored by
Moritz Royce Jewelry, the official jeweler of the Rizzuto Show.
So have you ever been caught in a traffic jam behind a car accident? And, man, you can be stuck for a long time. And it's usually pretty boring. But these stranded drivers got an unexpected treat. A tractor trailer collided with a pickup truck in Canada last week, and the pickup was towing its own trailer, which was packed with fireworks.
Oh, no.
Yep. This was wild for two reasons. One, the fireworks started going off, which caused the lanes of the highway to be cut off. And two, it was 10 p.m., meaning it was dark. So the drivers just sat there for the next hour watching an impromptu fireworks show from the highway. Nobody was seriously hurt, although one driver was taken to the hospital for minor injuries. The authorities are still investigating the crash. The crash is the fail. But that's all. It's a lighthearted one. Thank God nobody was seriously hurt, and they got to watch the fireworks.
I was hiding in the car because I didn't want to get hit by a stray rocket or anything. But yeah, it was just so loud and so huge.
Just as we approached it, boom, all of it started going off again. And we were just like, okay, we just have to slam on the gas and just try to book it through.
The whole highway was backed up.
Yeah, it was definitely scary. It was loud, aggressive.
It was awesome. It's the best fireworks show I've ever seen.
There you go. A driving instructor in the Netherlands was fined after his 17-year-old student was caught speeding on Tuesday.
Hey, wait 1 second. That last quote was, it was the best fireworks I've ever seen. I feel like any surprise fireworks is kind of just like times 10, right? It's always like, oh, I wasn't expecting fireworks. It's the best I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I love it.
Unexpected fireworks.
That struck me. Yeah, unexpected fireworks are just something special.
So 17-year-old student in the Netherlands with his driving instructor in the car was caught going 95 and an 80. Okay? And the teacher tried to say that they were just, showing the student that speeding doesn't actually save much time. Cops didn't buy it. The instructor was fined $350 for speeding, $250 for reckless driving.
Failed.
You've dreamed of doing this, but no one would actually risk doing this in real life, right? A guy in East Haven, Connecticut got pulled over the other day for putting fake police lights on his car to beat traffic and get to work faster.
I've daydreamed about this.
This is happening weekly now.
Yeah, it is. His name is Michael Marshall. He was trying to get to work. Cops spotted his Dodge Challenger on the highway with red and blue flashing lights. So they ran his plate, saw it was not registered to any law enforcement agency. Michael admitted he was using them to get through traffic, be a little faster on his commute. This was just before 9 a.m. So ironically, he ended up being late for work that day, or more likely he didn't make it at all. They towed his car, arrested him, released him on a $5,000 bond. He's due in court next week for serious charges for impersonating a police officer.
Failed.
I just want want the movement of getting one of those lights. You got it down by your left leg, and then you just put it on the hood of the car with the magnet.
Yeah.
And then watch the C's part.
Yeah, but I want to be like nefarious about it. I just want to have that moment. I'm adding that to my bucket list.
To put a
The red light. The
red light on the car.
I have it in there.
The magnet light.
Hit it. Yep.
It's got to be some old ass, Caprice or something. No.
This is,
Right.
I got to say,
Not a Caprice, even older.
now we can roll that all into one thing. Me and Moon getting the General Lee, peel out.
Oh, yes.
Learns driving, puts the siren on. You hop in the back, say, follow that car.
I'll
Boom. That's
ride
like
it.
that's
I'll
a
ride
No,
the back.
you jump into Boss Hogg's car with the horns on the front and say, follow those cars.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right.
A tourist sparked a bomb alert at a restaurant in Portugal when he confused the Portuguese words for pomegranate and grenade while attempting to order a drink. So the 36-year-old guy, a Russian speaker from Azerbaijan, found himself handcuffed and surrounded by armed police after a language app gave him the wrong translation for the fruit juice he was trying to buy. This poor dude, used his phone to translate the Russian word for pomegranate and then wrote a sentence in Portuguese so staff at the restaurant could understand his drink order. But the waiter read the note as a threat, thinking the customer had a grenade, called the police. The guy was taken to a nearby police station for like a big-time interrogation, later released after it was found he was not in possession of any weapon. They even tore apart his hotel room.
Damn.
So a police spokesman said officers were called to the restaurant and arrested the suspect as he tried to leave the establishment before carrying out a thorough inspection of the premises. And I guess, so the words for pomegranate and grenade are the same in the Russian language. However, in Portuguese, they're two separate words, with Roma meaning pomegranate and granada translating to grenade, a distinction that may have been lost during the language's app translation.
Yeah.
Failed.
I'd say so.
Whoops. A man was recently caught smuggling 5 liters of dog semen through a major seaport. The unnamed suspect was stopped at the port of Buenos Aires in Argentina.
Can we just be honest? That's a tired dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That is a
That's a
tired,
tired dog.
In my mind, what were you
I
saying?
was going to say this is the second day in the road, or maybe this week, that we have had semen smugglers.
It's safe
Semen
to say
smugglers.
that dog is sleeping.
Well, we had a horse semen. No, it was a bull semen stolen.
Right.
A
A vat.
a trailer full of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now this.
And now this.
I hope this guy was smuggling this dog semen in a big barrel on a collar around his neck.
Oh, yeah,
The
like
old
a
St. Bernard. Just a little cork in it.
What if it's a tiny dog that's just been working it for 6 months?
And now it's got it taken away from him. So he stopped at the port of Buenos Aires in Argentina after traveling by sea from Uruguay. During a routine scan, customs agents detected a suspicious package in one of the 2 backpacks the guy was carrying. When asked about the package, the man said, I'm not carrying anything. I have nothing to declare, gentlemen. Well, the item was seized by customs officials for violating Article 979 of the country's customs regulations. The importation of animal reproductive material requires a certificate of veterinary inspection, and he didn't have that. Frozen canine semen is typically used to preserve a male dog's genetics for breeding purposes. So probably going to one of these like puppy mills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude,
And
we rescued. I rescued.
he's in trouble.
Well, I wouldn't say rescued. Somewhat rescued.
Failed.
That Chihuahua I always talk about that I love so much. He was living at my father-in-law's at the time, and it was a smoker's house, and we didn't know. Nobody knew that he had asthma real bad. The dog did. So he was just. And he wasn't neutered or nothing, and he was just obnoxious, dude. I hated this dog. When I go over there,
Yeah.
it was the worst, dude. I was like, maybe I hate Chihuahuas. This dog sucks.
Oh, they're so cute.
He was
You're
just.
allowed to hate dogs.
He was always
Nasty
like,
ones.
dude. He was always just like making all these sounds. He just sounded miserable. He was just a jerk.
Wheezing.
He was constantly. He wasn't a jerk, but he was constantly
Stupid
coming
asthmatic
up.
Chihuahua.
No, he was coming up and he would like sneeze and snort and do all this nastiness and he had all this gunk and crap on him, and he was always humping. And I mean. Everything.
Yeah.
And this dog had like a bunch of toys and all. They had stuffed animals all over the place. No kids living there, but like for the dog. and every one of them was crusty. Dude, so crusty.
So he got to the finish line with
Because
like
his
all
dog
these
just
all these
crusted.
stuffed.
Oh, he crusted out.
Nothing is safe.
And, it was, and I was just like, this is the nastiest animal I've ever been around. Turns out, we took him home once because. And he had the worst breath. I can't even describe how many things were wrong with this dog. Yeah. So anyways, took him home. And we take him to the vet, and we realized, like, okay, so he hadn't had shots in, like, his 7 years of life. He had asthma so bad, and he was, like, really suffering in this smoker's house. And he had 9 teeth that had already fully rotted out and needed 6 more taken out. So we go to the vet. He gets all these teeth ripped out of his face. He gets his neuter stuff ripped out of his body.
His neuters.
And I was like, you know what? And during the recovery process, I fell in love with this dog, and he became my, like, best bud ever. Never humped anything again, but I just was dumbfounded at the amounts that this tiny little runt of a long-haired Chihuahua could crust out. I mean, the whole household was crusted with this dog's fun.
Yeah.
And man, whew, I don't know.
What was the dog's name?
Bernie.
Boo.
R.I.P.
Boo was the
Bird.
freaking best, dude. Boo was my best friend for a long time there. I needed him and he needed me, and we were best buds. I took him on tour. He pooped on the Golden Gate Bridge. He hiked Yellowstone with me.
R.I.P.
Oh man, best dog.
This is one way to make your marijuana extra dank.
Oh, let's go. Yeah.
The TSA recently caught a woman trying to sneak some weed past them by hiding it inside her adult diaper. A checkpoint scanner flagged her groin area. The agents did a pat down and some additional screening, and the woman, was found to have baggies of marijuana tucked inside the adult diaper. Maybe she thought she'd get away with it if it wasn't smelled by a dog or something, and maybe she thought the sensitive area might decrease the chances of that. It didn't work. It's also unclear if the diaper was clean.
What, she read a book about smuggling drugs from like 1978?
Well, marijuana is still illegal under federal law and is not allowed through airport security. The TSA posted a photo of the pot and the diaper online. In this case, it let the woman and her mom continue to their flight after tossing the drugs.
Yeah, a lot of the times they'll take it, but don't count on that. Don't bank on it.
I wouldn't count on that.
Law is law.
Yeah, man.
And I
Failed.
I'm willing, I just got dogged somewhere. Was that St. Louis? Or maybe it was Vegas. But anybody else get nervous with the dogs? I don't do drugs. I don't smoke drugs. I got nothing on me.
Past couple times I've been.
I don't do drugs. I don't do alcohol. I don't smoke nothing. I got nothing on me. Yet when I see the dog, I'm always like, oh.
Yeah, past couple times leaving the country or coming back in.
I get nervous.
They're pretty serious about
I get mad.
sniffing you.
Yeah.
Why? Why you get mad?
Because dogs are so cool, man, and I'm always just like, I see him, and I'm like, what are you hanging out with this square for? He's turning you into a narc, dude. You could be hanging out at my house getting your belly rubbed doing coke right now.
It's a task animal. Got to give him a job.
Crime news is always a little more fun this time of year because of these 3 words: criminals in costumes. A guy in Florida was arrested on Sunday while dressed as a banana. He's a student at the University of Miami, but this happened in Key West. Somebody flagged down a cop and said a man in a banana costume was peeing on the side of the building. So he whipped out his banana while dressed as a banana, which is kind of funny.
2 bananas.
The banana turned out to be a 20-year-old named Kyle. And the dumbest part was he was right across the street from a row of porta potties. And it must have been a long pee because he was still going when the cops walked up to him.
What?
Then Kyle took off, started running in a zigzag pattern to make it harder to catch him.
Because he thinks they're alligators.
Another cop managed to grab him by the peel, apparently. Honestly, Kyle twisted away, but they eventually got him into custody, facing charges for disorderly conduct and resisting arrest. And yes, he was still in his banana costume when they took his mugshot.
Good.
Failed.
Man, I want to see that mugshot really bad.
Yeah, you just see the banana cop, like you could see like he's got
Is his face still in the hole?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
If you didn't know, you can't just park on a road. You know, you can't just, like, wherever you want, just, here, I'm parking here.
You can't just
park here.
Kings Highway begs to differ. Don't know if you've ever seen Sunday on Kings Highway where they just make the right lane church parking, but they do it.
Oh, they do it?
It's crazy,
Really?
man. You'll just be driving 3 lanes of traffic, full speed down Kings Highway. There's a Catholic church across from Tower Grove Park, and they just start
park there.
parking on the. It's just
No
like
kidding.
parallel parking.
I feel like 70
It's
up by Lucas and Hunt is a temporary
It's a parking lot?
Temporary parking lot for some.
Well, a 32-year-old guy from Michigan was pulled over last Thursday because he'd parked his car in the middle of the road. Not a highway, it was a country road, but still, it was a road, not a parking lot. Cops approached the guy, and he asked them what the problem was. They asked why he was parked there. And he said he was smoking pot and thought he was being followed. He also said he had meth in the car. And the cops found over 35 grams of methamphetamine and drug paraphernalia. The guy was arrested, looking at several charges, including possession of meth with intent to deliver.
Failed.
And finally, a guy accused of joeing while walking around a Target in Iowa had an interesting explanation for his public pleasure session. Sir, I was only playing with the dildo in my shorts.
Of course.
Duh, and that happens to be no mine.
Despite that convincing explanation, 25-year-old...
Wait, that is that's no mine.
Yeah, that's.
I'm playing with something, but it's no mine.
It's holding it for a friend.
It's fake.
It is mine, but not the real one.
Right.
Again, despite the convincing explanation, 25-year-old Deshaun Brown was arrested for indecent exposure. Deshaun was caught on camera, quote, touching his clothed genitalia as well as his exposed penis at the Target.
Oh.
Cops say that he's done this before. Back in July, he was sentenced to 2 years probation for indecent exposure and is on Iowa's sex offender registry. When he was questioned by police about the latest incident, Deshaun claimed to have a stashed sex toy. However, video evidence, quote, suggests the phallic object in his hand was indeed connected to his person.
Failed.
What does that mean?
It was his penis.
He was leveling up because he had already gone with his actual penis.
No, he really didn't have a dildo in his pants. It was just he really was.
I thought you were saying that he had one out.
It was his actual penis. But he said, no, this is a dildo. I'm not.
If I didn't already have my podcast title.
I wasn't doing that. I'm playing with my dildo.
At the Target.
Oh, sir, a dildo is a fake penis. Okay, turns out I don't know what dildo means.
Hey, before we take the final break of the morning, I do, a couple of people sent us this from the Wentzville Police Department posted this. I'm going to pull up the exact quote here. This is from the Wentzville Police Department. Did you see this yet, Moon?
I don't think so.
Today, we received several calls for unauthorized extra charges after being a customer at Wendy's, the Wendy's in Wentzville. Several victims have reported an extra $200 charge moments after their car was charged for their food order.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy.
If you're a victim of an extra unauthorized charge within the last several days from the Wendy's out there in Wentzville.
I hate to say it, I always feel like it's such a waste of time. Like, I shouldn't have to do this, but I do check my statements all the time for this kind of stuff because it always makes me nervous at a drive-thru. I hand you the card, and then I'm like, hey, wait, where are you going? Register's supposed to be right here.
No, and when they say, would you like a receipt, I always say yes. Because I do look.
Yeah, never mind the receipt. They could do that, and then they can take a picture of it. Remember we had a story a couple years back that I didn't even think about somebody taking a picture of the card.
I had to cancel my credit card last week because somebody got it somehow and stole the number and went on a shopping spree at Home Depot. So.
Oh no!
Yeah.
My wife is so sick of me. It happens every 3 days. I go, hey babe, what the hell is this?
Right.
It's always something.
It's always some weird code.
But I don't know what the word means, and I'm like, hey, are we getting robbed? Like I always think we're being robbed.
Yeah.
I had my identity stolen, and it's destroyed me.
I know.
It's ruined me forever.
Hey, were you getting gas in Chicago yesterday?
Yes.
Right. I was like, wait, and it could be $11. I'm like, hey, excuse me, babe, what is this? And
And thank God now most banks, this is so frequent. The identity, credit cards being stolen, identities, the banks 9 times out of 10 will work with you and be like, all right, we'll cancel your card, we'll refund refund the charges, send you a new card.
They froze my card immediately. Yeah. And so the charges never even, they went through, I wasn't responsible for them.
But they right back, they gave it back to you.
Oh, dude, I was in Europe.
Just if you're up there in the Wentzville area, you went to Wendy's over the past couple of days.
I was in Europe, and I had even called the bank and said, hey, I'm going to be in Europe. If you start seeing debit or credit things, this is what it's from. You're supposed to do that just in case,
Yeah.
I even did it, but the gal didn't put it in. Like they said, oh yeah, we see a note here. Too late, because I went to an ATM and it said, and took my card. And I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. And
it stole your card?
It said fraud detected and kept the card. And I'm on the streets of
It's a safety thing. You're kind of glad they do.
I'm glad they do, but I was out there.
Cool.
Now
But
I got,
you tell them.
Now I got a 6-week tour in Europe, but I got no money. I got no access to money.
Yeah.
Right.
It was awful.
So we started giving HJs for a couple.
Yeah, I don't even want to tell you
10
about that. dude.
euros.
Wow.
I don't even want to tell you.
€10,
I did have an ostrich burger moments later. It was very, very memorable.
What did that taste like?
It was freaking incredible.
Cool, man.
Okay.
That's what I had the other day
out of a
when
street
you
cart.
said it stunk.
An ostrich burger?
That was an ostrich stick
Oh,
I
I
was
thought you
eating.
were kidding.
Yo,
Oh.
dude, it was great, and it was in the
up
middle
with
of the
that?
street, like a street vendor. So I mean, that was risk on top of risk.
I don't think I could
Man.
eat such a magnificent bird.
Yeah. All right, we'll take one
Yeah,
final
you're
break.
right.
We'll come back and we'll.
Smelling.
Yes?
Nothing.
I feel bad, but it was good.
It's Friday. We're having
It's
a good
Friday.
time.
I'm ready to go. I
Me
got to get
too.
out.
We're talking ostrich.
I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. All right, one final break. We'll come back and wrap her up. Like that, we are done.
That's right.
Just like that.
Just like that, we're done.
That.
I am ready to party tonight.
You ready for Metallica tonight?
I am.
A couple people to thank. First off, Robert Trujillo
Yes.
from Metallica for letting Lern sit down with him.
That's right.
We'll play a little snippet of her interview earlier during Crap on Celebrities.
That video interview and audio interview should be later today, but we're going to air it tomorrow, and we'll be sharing it on the socials, what time, and all that good stuff.
Okay.
Go
awesome.
watch it. It was good. I was there in person. She's good at her job, man.
Yeah, it's
I
not
learned a
it's
lot.
not every
Like,
day.
I'm not a radio person by trade, so watching her and AD both do interviews was really, it was a good learning experience.
Saw 'em go
for
to
me.
work.
Yeah, they're good.
Saw them do work.
She's real good at her job.
Also, a big thanks to Gravity Kills for spending an hour with us.
Heck yeah.
That was great.
Gravity Kills, see them at the pageant next Saturday for the redemption show. Not calling it a reunion, a redemption show. Not sure what they're being redeemed from, but okay.
Maybe a parking ticket, perhaps.
So possibly.
Yeah.
Some tickets are left, but that show's going to sell out. So make sure you see local heroes. Gravity Kills next Saturday over the pageant. See Lern at DB's on Sunday.
Yes, please come out. I want to talk football. I mean, I had the Steelers last night. I believe they won, right?
Yes.
And so that was good.
Yeah.
I need help. So come on out to DB's noon to 2. We're going to talk football. We're going to eat really good food, have a couple of drinks, and it's just a real chill vibe.
Yep. Today's podcast is titled?
It's titled Gravity Kills Unexpected Fireworks.
Okay. Gravity Kills Unexpected Fireworks. One more time, we're going to shout out the 5 companies on our head who have made some very generous donations to the Song Society. We'll start with Rafe. I did it because I knew you weren't ready.
I'm not ready.
I knew you weren't
I got
ready.
to pull up Scott's copy.
Can I tap in?
Hey, while he's doing that, I will be out at Punk in the Park in Orange County with the Descendants. We are co-headlining that stage right there on Sunday. Punk in the Park is this awesome festival that's going on out in California. So if you guys are out there, I know we have a lot of LA-based, a lot of Orange County, a lot of California Rizz Show fans, folks, whether they're transplants or not. Thank you for listening. And I met a ton of people in Vegas that were Rizz Show fans, even saw
Yeah.
Rizz Show shirts, a couple of them actually, Burton shirts and everything. So if you're going to be anywhere near Orange County and Punk in the Park, please come say hi. I'm just going to be hanging out probably both days.
That's
Punk
so
in the
cool.
Park.
Yeah, we play on Sunday. Hell, I don't know what time we play, but I'll see you there.
Oh, yeah, we should say comedian Greg Warren's going to be here on Monday.
Yeah, Gregory.
Who's coming off the Burt Kreischer cruise?
Yeah, dude. We chatted briefly about it, but man, it looked really cool.
I saw pictures. It looked awesome.
And because he was supposed to go out, Nate Bargatze was taking him out. He was going on tour with Nate, and then Nate got SNL.
Oh,
And he
I'm
was
sorry
like,
to hear
they
that.
had to cancel shows.
I hear that's going around.
Yeah, he got SNL, dude.
It's
actually,
I thought you were going to say he got COVID.
It's not terminal. It's it was actually he only had it for 1 week.
And then Nate comes down with SNL. And
So he was like,
the whole damn tour's off.
All my Nate dates got canceled because he had to go prep for SNL, and then the next day Bert calls like, "Hey, you want to go on this cruise?" And I was like,
Well,
"Kismet, baby."
We'll get the scoop on
yeah.
Monday with Greg Warren. So hats. Let's start with Lern.
All right, yes, I'm talking
son
about
of a
getaway carts, getaway carts, golf carts. Yes, you need one. I've partied on them many a time. This is the only kind of golf cart I like is whenever I can climb atop of it, ride down hills, having a good time, having a kegger. What? Financing available. They can customize your golf carts. They even have e-bikes. Call them right now. They're open 314-650-2951 or get your very own getawaycarts.com.
Getaway carts. Moon.
fasterhouse.com. This is your local home buyer. If you or somebody you know has a house that you need sold quickly, Faster House is definitely the place to go. No formal inspections, contingencies, or shenanigans. They'll get you to the closing table, even if the house smells like cats or anything else. If it's difficult to sell, worry not. Fasterhouse.com to learn more. Big thanks to those guys. I hope to be working with him in the future.
And thanks to them for their donation to the Song Society. My hat, sponsored by Trimlight, Southeast Missouri. Trimlight is an innovative patented lighting system that allows customers to have permanent exterior lighting professionally installed on their homes and businesses, eliminating the hassle and worry out of hanging Christmas lights or holiday lights ever again. This is the second week they've sponsored my head, serving Southeast Missouri and surrounding areas. They will come to you. TrimlightSemo.com, TrimlightSemo.com. And finally,
we're out of time. All right.
Out of time.
Out of time. Sorry about that, last two sponsors. Just in Time Pro. This is King Scott's sponsored head, but his head ain't here. Just in Time Construction and Remodeling. Fall and the holidays are approaching. Spend a lot of time indoors. You're thinking, hey, I could use a new kitchen, bathroom, finished basement, painting project, or maybe just a few minor repairs I don't want to mess with. Let Justin and his team hook you up. All right, they've been doing it since 2002. They're from St. Louis. Give them a call directly. See how they can help you. 314-570-2000. 314-570-2000, or reach out to him on Facebook at JustinTime247. And just like that, flawless transition into Flynn Landscaping. Specializing in lawn, landscaping, maintenance, irrigation, and arbor care in Ladue, Frontenac, and surrounding areas. Don't call them today. They're celebrating National Sandwich Day, but tomorrow they'll be around. They're also hiring with competitive salary and hourly employees making up to $78,000 clams per year. That's a lot of money. Yeah, dude, that's your bank account blowing up. That's you going up a tax bracket, bro. You got paid vacations, sick days, and paid training and certifications. Go to Flynn Landscaping, Inc. .com or 314-243-6784 for more info.
All right. Thank you to all the companies. Thank you for your donations to the Song Society. And I do have to say, and I got this, so our October fundraiser was for the Song Society.
Yeah.
And thanks to the generosity of all the companies that have sponsored our heads for the past month. Thanks to the generosity of the Rizz Show listeners and the Point listeners going out to the events and making the donations to sign the billboard and buying the Jeff Burton bobbleheads. We have raised over $23,000 for the Song Society.
Awesome.
All those Hollow Weirdo stickers over at Together Credit Union.
Oh, man.
So thank you guys so much. Thanks to More Tourist Jewelry for helping us out as well. And, yeah. It's nice. Nice little number to go into the weekend with.
Very
23 grand to the Song Society. All right, we leave you with a selection from the Teamers Member of the Day, which is brought to you by Hot Shots. Patrick Tebow from Wentzville is at Teamers